This week on the Steam Machine podcast. Hey man, what was that ska band that used to be really popular? What, you mean Big D and the Kids Table? No, the one that had all the trumpets and shit. No, oh, you mean Goldfinger? No, they weren't as famous as them. Oh, you mean Real Big Fish? Cue the music. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. Could you tell I didn't have an intro? I was supposed to think of one, and then I forgot to think of one, so that was what you got. My name is Dalton, and as always, joining me is one half of the Destructo Bros.
Hey everybody, it's Nate.
And Willie, unfortunately, was pulled underwater by a carp, and we think that he has now become one with the fish people. So we hope that by the time he returns, that he will have his normal breathing lungs back, will no longer have gills, and will have returned to human form. But we will see. We will see. As of now, blub, my good sir, blub.
Blub.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, man, not too bad. It's just been a couple weeks. Nothing too crazy been up for me. The one thing that has happened is so I don't know what happened. It was last week or so, probably around Wednesday night. I was sitting here playing video games, went to bed, woke up, had 3 teeth marks in my arm, from some kind of insect, and just a little welting, right? So I was like, all right, I saw something bit me while I was playing video games or while I was asleep last night. No big deal. I'm just gonna chill on this. Well, the thing is, the circles around the bites kept growing and growing and growing, and then I had this huge red welt on the inside of my elbow. And it was awful. And I was like, what the hell? It's I don't know what could have bit me to have caused this, because the only 2 spiders down here that are really dangerous are Black Widow, which if it had been that, I would have felt it the moment it bit me because those things hurt. Or a brown recluse, which technically you could probably not feel and then just have the problem. But the thing was, if you get bit by a brown recluse, your skin just starts rotting around the area where you're bit.
Oh, God. So, quick story. A friend of mine, Kevin, growing up, his older brother lived in this little... a little mobile home, but smaller than that. It's a little pull behind type thing. He had his little man cave outside of his parents' house. And he was 17, 18 or whatever. But he was the type of dude who had really weird shit and was really into weird shit and just tried to say weird shit to be weird, if that makes any sense.
I know. I've known those people. Yeah.
One of the pictures he had up in his room was the picture of someone's thumb right in this area, where they had been bitten by a brown recluse and it had eaten all of the flesh away. So it was just this disgusting, festering wound looking thing. And I was like, Jake, why do you have that? Because it's cool. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's disgusting, bro. Why do you... I was 13 or 14 being dude, what the hell do you have?
Why would you want to look at that every day?
Right? Surely you don't beat off in here while that thing's staring at you. No, bro, come on. Yeah, it freaked me out. It really freaked me out. I didn't like looking at it, so I'm just ugh. So I have avoided spiders since I realized they can do that kind of shit to you.
Yeah, and so I just kept letting it go. So then it was on Sunday night, I was okay, this really is not getting any better. So I went to an urgent care on Monday night after work, because I was my primary care physician was didn't have any availability until 3 weeks from now. I'm well, what good is having a primary care physician if I can't ever see them? But anyway, so I went to the urgent care and got checked out, and they're yeah, we think what probably happened is you have a bacterial infection on your arm from the bite. So they bit me, and then the bacteria got in and just started spreading down my arm. So they're yeah, you should probably be on antibiotics. Probably should have been a couple days ago. I'm well, so... So I'm on antibiotics now, and it's gotten a lot better. In this light,
it's a lot better than it did.
Yeah, in this light you can hardly see it, but it's a little pink still. It was never tender. Here's the thing: the reason I didn't really think to go in, it never hurt. It wasn't ever tender. It just itched a little bit. So I was this can't be a big deal. It's just going to go away on its own. But wiser minds told me, go to the doctor, you dumbass. Thanks, Kayla. I appreciate that.
And then also I was going to tell you, but I figured you already knew this, so I didn't want to be that guy. But to look out if you start seeing little red lines coming from it.
Oh, yeah.
That's staph, and that's a big deal.
Right.
You go get that checked out immediately.
Which that probably could have happened if I didn't go get this checked out and get on the antibiotics. So I'm glad I did. It's getting better, but
Good.
It wasn't that big a deal. But like, I haven't wanted to go outside, like out into the world with this big red welt on my arm. So like, it's not cold up here. It's pretty warm, and I've been putting on a flannel shirt every time I've left the house, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sick of doing this.
You could just be flannel guy. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. When I worked at Coke, I mean, it'd be hot as fuck, but I always had an undershirt under my uniform because I would tuck in my undershirt. That way my ass crack didn't hang out.
That's fair.
Tip for fat people at work. They got to bend over. Wear an undershirt. Tuck that shit. Make sure your undershirt is a longer shirt than you need it to be, and tuck that shit in. That way you got leeway. You can bend over and ain't gonna pull out and accidentally flash everybody.
Yeah, plumbers everywhere, take note.
Yeah. Speaking of, I was at my grandparents' house like a week before what I'll end up talking about. And I was doing something with their printer, and I was bent over, and I heard my grandma go, "Well, he should have been a plumber." And I just knew my ass crack was hanging out. Like, damn it, man.
Yeah,
so, of course.
But other than that, not a whole lot going on over the last couple of weeks. Just been working and getting bitten by bugs, apparently.
And not even like the cool kind that turns you into Spider-Man.
Right? Like, but I don't have superpowers now. No, it doesn't work.
Just do that, dislocate your wrist. Oh, I'm definitely not a superhero.
Right?
Oh, man. Yeah. It's been a kind of a whirlwind of a few weeks for me. Today's Thursday, right?
Yep.
Because we're doing this today late. Yeah. So tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Not to go into detail, but I lost my grandfather the day after his 89th birthday, and it was rough. It was real rough, especially the circumstances. But as a family, we're getting through it. Thank you to Mikolov and Nefarious for covering for me on the JRPG report, because like I just didn't have it in me. So like I really appreciate you guys doing that for me. And yeah, it was kind of bittersweet that we're doing a fishing game at this time, because he was the man who taught me how to fish. So I dedicate this episode in memory of my grandfather, John L. I miss you and I love you, and I hope you are not in pain anymore. On a brighter note, I did something for your benefit, my good sir.
Oh yeah? And
that was I played through the entirety of Halo Wars over the past day and a half. I beat it last night. So Halo Wars is, so I did a Google search one day and was like, what is the chronological order of Halo? I know the release order. Ooh, excuse me. I hope the fucking mic didn't pick up that nasty ass burp. If it did, my apologies. Blame on the Diet Pepsi. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I looked up the chronological, because I'm like, what is the story order? And it said that the first game is Halo Wars, and then it goes to Halo Reach, and then Halo 1, Halo 2, and then I think Halo ODST. And then it starts getting into having to deal with figuring out what goes where. But the first one was Halo Wars, and I was like, I've never heard of that before. So I went and looked, and it was an RTS game, your favorite. And so I was like, oh, I like an RTS. You know, I like Command and Conquer, or Civilization really isn't an RTS, but there is elements of it. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot, you know. And at the time, I think it was on sale for like $1.99, because I remember I got that, and then I got Halo Spartan Assault and Spartan Strike or something like that, which are top-down shooters. Excuse me, they were both like $1. And this was a year and a half ago, when we were all like, all right, we're gonna play Halo, and then figured out, oh shit, multiplayer is weird. Because that's right, we were gung-ho, we were all going to play against bots, and then we realized there are no bots.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, well, damn. So I played through, and I'll sum it up if we ever play, or once we get to Halo Reach, I'll actually sum up the game, but it actually wasn't bad. And it was relatively short. There were only 15 missions. Okay. So, like, I played through it in a day and a half, and that was a lot of pausing it to go deal with the dog and stuff, So I'd say maybe 8 hours. Okay. It would have easily fit on the short game list. Gotcha. But really enjoyed it. It kind of explained how the whole beginning of it started. The origins of the big war that's going on, at least from the origin point, because there's nothing before that unless it's in text form of whatever books and shit they've released about Halo that I have no idea about. Yeah, that was a good one. Been playing a lot of Ease.
Yep.
Been playing a lot of Ease.
I've been playing Ease myself. It's been, not to spoil the episode, but I'm having a good time with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a great game, dude. And I hit chapter 5, and I was like, oh, let me look up how many chapters are in this game. There are 6. So I was like, oh, shit. It's like, all right. I'm going to start exploring a little more. I got time.
Yeah, dude.
But it was a lot of the stuff, like, I've played through that first beginning part of the game probably 3 times, because I think I had pirated it back in the day, and then I bought it on my Switch, and then I bought it on Steam because I wanted to own it legit because I'm weird about achievements.
Yeah. Dude, that's the funny thing is I bought it on Steam. I was like, you know what? Then Mikolov had messaged us, was like, oh, this is on the Switch too. I'm going to get it on the Switch. I was like, shit, this is on the Switch. I think this game would be so much more fun to play on the Switch. So I ended up buying it for Switch.
And then I told you guys, I was like, yeah, the physical version, when you pop it open, it actually like comes with a bunch of stuff. And then both of you were like, oh, fuck, that's right. You did.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I did. I did the rare thing and bought it digitally because like, I just want to play this. So I was like, I'm just going to download it right now.
Well, just know if you're ever in the wild and you see it in a discount bin.
Yeah.
Hopefully the stuff I would check, or if you can check to see if the stuff's still in it. But like, yeah, dude, it came with a map, a booklet, some like trading cards.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Some cool shit. I was like, man, I never see this anymore.
Yeah.
Ever. This is like finding a needle in a haystack these days. It's like, fuck, if I ever bought a game and there was a cloth map in it, I might faint. You know, it's like I got Shroud of the Avatar, but that's fucking Richard Garriott. So it's like you expect it to come with a cloth map, but not, dude. I was thinking, you know, if I were to buy, like, say they ever released, I don't know, like Elden Ring 2, and I for some reason bought a physical copy for PlayStation 8, and boom, I don't know. But trying to think of what else I've been doing. There's one other thing that I have been playing a bunch, and I can't for the life of me put my finger on what it was. I will say I have dabbled a little more into Ewan Chronicle, and man, that game is fun. And I am obsessed with the way that game looks. That HD 2D, just give me all of that. Just more. I need more.
Yeah.
And there's a release date or a release window, I think now, for the Dragon Quest 3 remake, but they are hinting that it's no longer just Dragon Quest 3, that it's going to be Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, all in that style.
So good.
And I was like, whoa, because I remember I got the ones that came out on Switch, and they were fun, but they look like mobile games. But they look, you know, better than their NES and SNES counterparts, arguably. But man, I will just take my money.
Yeah, right.
if just take my money. And then I haven't delved into it yet. Oh, I am so ready to. I got it installed and I'm looking at it right now. Like I could just pet it. Mikolov was kind enough to send me Resident Evil Village.
Nice.
And I'm like, what I want to do is, because I still have access to Ryan's library, is install. At least I hope I still have access to his library. If not, then fuck. But install Biohazard, Resident Evil 7.
Okay.
And play through that again. Because it's been like 2.5 years since I played through that game. Because because the 8 is just like a direct continuation of the same character from 7 into 8. I'm just like, oh man. And then I get to see Big Vampire Lady.
Yeah.
And the creepy baby scene.
Creepy baby, yeah, dude. Like, I haven't played this game, but I've seen so much from it. And, like, it looks really good, Village. And, like, I bought I don't know what happened to me one year, but, like, there was a sale on all the Resident Evil. I think there was a bundle on Fanatical where it had, like, 1 through 7 on it. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to buy Village, too. And so far, I've only played Resident Evil 2. And now they've released a remake of 4 that looks really good, too.
Bro, yeah. I have the OG Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, man, that remake looks so crisp.
It does. Like, might have to buy that too, but not until I actually play some of these Resident Evil games I bought.
Oh man, yeah. I've seen like a lot of online discourse where people did not like the Resident Evil 3 remake, and I'm like, do I fucking loved that game? I blew through that game. Yeah, it's not very long, but fuck. Dude, it was like a really good action movie. You know what I mean? It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But people gonna be people.
For sure, man.
Oh, that's weird. I'm looking at Resident Evil. Sorry, I was looking at Biohazard on the Steam store, and it says, notice, please check the news page for details regarding the patch delivering ray tracing. Okay. But and other features, plus information on new system requirements.
Okay.
They upgrade the graphics. I'm interested.
Yeah, because I have Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, which now has a parenthesis that says 2005 on it. Resident Evil 5, 6, Biohazard, Resistance, Revelations 2, Reverse, and Village. And I've only played Resident Evil 2. This is why we have a podcast where we play our backlog of games.
Yes.
Because we impulsively buy shit we never play. Guilty as charged. But yeah, man, other than that, there was I'm sure there's other shit that I've been doing, but who cares? There was a couple showcases that we delved into. Now, I'm not going to dive deep into all of them, but we will go through the list of all the games that were released, and we do have some stars or asterisks, whatever you want to call them, next to the ones that we do want to touch on, so we'll run through it. First up was the Xbox. Well, I don't think it was actually. I think it was. Order doesn't matter. First up, we are covering. There we go. The Xbox Games Showcase. So they opened up, or whenever they opened it, I don't know when they showed it, but it was Black Ops 6, or otherwise, or as Outside Xbox calls it, Blops, which I prefer. Blops. It just makes me laugh. Blops 6. It's a lot more fun to say.
Yeah, right. You know what? If the campaign's good, then good for them. But I'm sure that they're gonna not put a lot of effort into the campaign because they always put more effort into multiplayer. Yeah,
that's how I feel about it too. And it's just like, honestly, I'm sick to death of realistic first-person shooters. So
see, I've been looking for a good one because I haven't played one in forever because I'm so sick of every shooter like that being multiplayer.
Yeah,
I want a really good single player one. You know what I mean? I would be happy. So the other day I bought for cheap Rainbow Six Vegas 2 because I'm like, I remember playing that on PS3. That's a good shooter and there's a good campaign to it. Right. And but that game came out, before. It was one of the first games that had really competitive online multiplayer. And it was like $2. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll throw $2. So Black Ops, I agree with your opinion on this. Yawn. Up next, man, for the one episode that Willie decided not to be on, Doom: The Dark Ages, bro.
Dude.
What the actual fuck was that trailer other than just sheer insanity?
I don't know, man. Like, a lot of times a game will reboot itself, right? Like a series that you know and love and just absolutely shit the bed, right? You never like the remakes or the newer games, but like Doom has somehow managed to find the way to make their shit fun and still really badass. Because like we played Doom 2016 and I loved it. And then this game just looks hype, dude. Like I'm excited for it.
It looked incredible, and I saw some things online that said, I think they called this a Doom game because Heretic and stuff wasn't as popular.
Yeah.
They're like, because this is like this is total medieval Doom. The name lives it up, Dark Ages. There was a scene in the trailer where Doom guy's riding on the back of a dragon.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it's like they played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon and was like, you know what? We could do this without all the weird retro lighting shit and make it really gory, and it would be really cool. And how about a shield that you can blade it and you could throw like Kung Lao's hat? Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, yeah, I'm excited. I will definitely want to play that after we get to Doom Eternal, which I think we should do pretty soon.
I didn't think I owned that. And then I looked the other day and I do. That is a massive game.
It's huge. That's why I don't have it installed yet.
It's one of those beefy boys, man. So many games are beefy boys.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What was it? Oh, we'll get to it, actually. So hopefully I remember when it actually comes up. You didn't have it starred, but
it's fine. Yeah, just go keep going.
Yeah, State of Decay 3 was the next one.
Meh.
It looks interesting. I've never played 1 or 2. It's a zombie shooter.
Yeah.
So I mean, take it for what. If you're excited for it,
yeah.
I'm happy for you. Dragon Age Veilguard, formerly known as like Dreadwolf. I think it was Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and they changed it to Veilguard.
Yeah.
Much better name in my opinion.
Dude, I've never played a Dragon Age game, right? And like, I started watching the trailer for this one. I was like, this actually looks really fun. Like, I'm excited for that one. I think that could be like a lot of fun.
So here's the thing with the Dragon Age series that intrigues me is it's like Mass Effect, same company. It's basically, you have your Fallout and your Skyrim, or you have your Dragon Age and your Mass Effect. If you start with the first game, you can continue your same character through all of the games.
That's cool.
Right? So it's like, seeing this game come out, it's the same way I felt when Dragon Age Inquisition came out. Damn, I should play Dragon Age 1. And then because I back in the day on PS3 played Dragon Age 2 and I loved it. People who played Dragon Age 1 did not love Dragon Age 2 very much. I think it was a 50-50 people who loved it or hated it. I really liked it. Most of the game takes place in a big city. That didn't bother me. I'm like, okay, this is like a different kind of setting type thing, Inquisition I've heard is very, very good. That's the third one. And then now this one. So it's like my only My only worry is going back to that first Dragon Age is that it's aged graphically and gameplay wise. There's a couple mods that help with that are easy to install. They're not like Bethesda games, thank God.
And that's the other thing about the Veilguard game. It looks gorgeous.
Fucking beautiful, dude. Beautiful. And usually the way Dragon Age does their stuff is they do segmented open world. So it's like you can go wherever you want, but they're in big sectors.
Yeah.
And I think that allows it to just load those areas at one time, and they allow it to be much more detailed instead of it's processing an entire world and then just not processing as much until you run up to it. And there's less going on like that.
Yeah.
Which is going to strain your RAM less. It's going to allow them to put more cool things in. Primo, can't wait, dude. It's going to be stupid cool. Starfield getting their first DLC, Shattered Space.
Dude, it looks really cool from the trailer I've seen, but I 1000% do not trust it.
I watched that and was like, I had two thoughts. Okay, you know me. My first thought was, man, this looks like a really cool version of that one fucking No Man's Sky update that was the desolate ships that you go in and that are all...
It does kind of feel like they're copying No Man's Sky even more now. Yeah.
They're really fucking... Yeah, I was like, man, they really just... It's like Todd Howard played No Man's Sky. I was like, I really like this. We could do something like this with our engine. And then we're going to sell it 10 times before we release Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6.
Right.
But it looks really cool. And I've heard that Starfield is starting to get the updates that it's needed. So I may give it another couple months and then dip my toes back in to see how it's come. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I try to remind myself The Witcher 3 was a buggy mess on launch. But CD Projekt Red stuck with it.
I also feel like companies should have learned from what happened to CD Projekt Red and not release a shit game on release.
Yeah, that's true. As good as Cyberpunk is now, yeah, that and No Man's Sky, you know what I mean? It's like you got your I guess I don't know if CD Projekt Red is technically AAA, but they release AAA level games.
Yeah.
And then your indie worry was the Hello games, you know. Mm-hmm. Both have made up for it, but at the same time, yeah, it's like pay attention to history, people. Like delays are okay. You might lose a little hype. You can build hype back up.
Yeah.
It's hard to build hype back up after you have soiled interest.
Yup.
Completely. So yeah, here's hoping. Like we said before we got on the call, I said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So if the DLC, if I buy it and it's bad, all right, learn my lesson. They're not going to get any more of my money for that game. But if I buy it and it's really good, then hell yeah, good job, guys. You have steered the ship in the right direction. The next one, Fallout 76, Skyline Valley.
Yeah. I've never played Skyline 76, but did I say Skyline 76?
You did.
I've never played Fallout 76.
I've never played that
either. Never played Fallout 76. I always thought it looked pretty neat. And the trailer for this one looks really cool. And the one thing that I really liked about it is they're adding the ability to play as a ghoul in it, which I thought was a really nice touch and probably something Fallout fans have wanted for a really long time.
Oh, yeah. There are plenty of mods for the available Fallout games that make you be able to play as a ghoul. So I think that's a very cool addition to the game. That's another game that got a lot of hate when it first came out, and that's kind of gone away. They've kind of pulled the nose up on it, and I think it's because they added NPCs. While I think that the idea of the game with no NPCs, because the players are the living world, would work if enough players played it, and if people didn't suck.
That's the big one.
Now, that being said, the few times that I have logged in and played Fallout 76 and ran into other people, it's always been someone super high level, and they come up to me and they wave and they drop items for me, and then they do a little dance or whatever, and they run off. So it's like, everyone's been super chill. I have not been griefed. Have seen people nuke other people, because that is a thing. I don't know how you do it, but there is a way to set off a nuke, and you can choose a specific area and drop that motherfucker, and I have seen people's camps be destroyed by that, but not me, because I am not an asshole to people. Usually I assume it's griefers getting fucked or someone who is about to be fucked by a griefer. But yeah, I would like to, and there's a thing where you can pay for the Fallout Now or whatever, and then you can have a private world that you can invite just your friends to. That could be really cool. Yeah. That would be something I would look into for an episode. Yeah. And, maybe have Patreon fund that for the episode or whatever. Claire Obscure. Don't remember.
Me neither.
All right. South of Midnight.
Did not leave an impression on me.
Don't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. World of Warcraft. Still kicking. War Within.
Yeah, good on them. If you're a World of Warcraft fan, at least you're still eating good and they're still making content for that game. Like, good for y'all.
Yeah, I am. There's a little part of me that is happy to see that game still exists. That game, World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 11, not 14, as much as I love 14, but the fact that 11 is still going strong, I played that when I was like 12, bro. And I am 32. That game has been around a long fucking time.
Yeah, dude.
It's still going strong. So shout outs to World of Warcraft. I don't play you anymore. I can't afford to play you anymore, but you are a decent game. I have met a lot of good friends through that game. Metal Gear Solid. Okay, you put Metal Gear Solid 5, but it's Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh, my bad.
Snake Eater.
My bad, bro. Numbers are close together on the keyboard.
You're fine. It's Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Delta, technically. It's like that weird Delta triangle thing. Yeah. And Kojima. No, I'm sorry, not Kojima. Konami. Has to be weird with that shit. But hell yeah, that remake looks badass.
Yeah, dude. It looks super good.
That first reveal trailer that they did for that, I think last year, where it was the pan through the wilderness and like you saw the snake and the snake nailed the bird and then the gator got the snake and then it goes through all this stuff. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then I saw Snake come out of the water, like Snake, the character. And my mind exploded out of the back of my head. Like, holy shit. And then seeing this, I'm like, mother of God, I cannot wait for this, dude. So I wonder, there's one thing I wonder if they left in. There's a boss fight in the game against a character called The End, and he's an old man. And back in the day on your PlayStation, you could either not play the game for like a year, or you could set the time ahead on your PlayStation for like a year or two ahead of time, and he would die of old age. And that's how you could beat the fight, or one of the ways you could beat the fight.
That's hilarious.
Like, that's Kojima level shit right there. Like, that's the shit that I think of when I think of Kojima, is weird shit like that. Or like the other guy who is like a boss, and you can see him getting wheeled in, and you can shoot him in the fucking head. It's like 20 minutes into one of the games, and he's like a main boss, and you can just bam, kill him right as the game's starting. Like, there's just weird shit you can do like that, because Kojima's be weird.
Yeah.
So, Metal Gear, super stoked. Up next, Sea of Thieves, Season 15. This is another one of those games, just like Fallout 76, that I really want to play with my bros.
Yeah.
It looks fun as fuck. I have never played it, though.
Right.
I own it. It's a beefy boy.
Yeah. It looks cool. And I could get it. I could download it on Game Pass at any time, honestly, because it's always on there. But trying to find a group of people to play it with, or just trying to do that while I'm trying to record the show, I can wait.
Yeah. Then that's the thing, is like, I want that to come up for the show.
Yeah.
So we have a reason to play it. Then I can be like, all right, fuck yeah, let's play some Sea of Thieves. And I will finally download it and install it, because it's like 80 gigs. It's a beefy boy.
Yeah.
So, but everything I've seen, like when I watch the Outside Xbox crew play it, it looks like a blast. But I don't know. I've never played it.
Yeah. It looks like the kind of game you can make your own fun in, which is always a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder if it has fishing.
I would assume so, man. Come on.
I would hope so. Flintlock. I remember it looked okay. I don't remember too much about it.
Same.
Age of Mythology Retold. Hell yeah.
That's a big no from me, dog.
Hell yeah. That's like Age of Empires, but with mythological shit, and I'm all about that.
It looked very RTS-y, and I was like, I can't handle this.
It's very RTS-y. You are correct, sir. So yeah, I knew that wouldn't be your thing, but when I saw that, I was like, hell yeah, that looks really cool. Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I played Perfect Dark growing up, the original, on Nintendo 64. And that game was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the multiplayer in that. It had so many cool weapons and stuff. And the way this is starting off, it looks pretty damn good. Like, they got the characterization of Joanna Dark right. She seems like a badass. And the gameplay looked good. The graphics looked great. I'm like, this is really good looking, but I'm still cautious on that, because, like, didn't they do, like, a Perfect Dark, like, a few, like, 10 years back or so that turned out to be total garbage, too? So, like, I'm always...
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's always these reboots that I get nervous about. Like, this one looks good, cautiously optimistic, but I'm not going to sell the house for it.
It reminded me a lot of Deus Ex, and they mentioned that too on the Xbox Outside Xbox stream I was watching of it. I think it was Mike was like, "This is very Deus Ex-y," and I agreed. I'm like, "Yeah, this definitely looks a lot like Deus Ex." It looks really cool though. I never played the original, but I know people hold it in high regard, so I have hopeful optimism for it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, we've gotten all these shooter remakes. Night Dive Studio, I'm talking to you. I'm looking at the camera. You can't see me. I'm looking at the camera. Remake or make a new motherfucking Time Splitters game. Here's the thing. Time Splitters was known for having a shitload of characters, okay? So, do it like Multiverses. Do it like Brawlhalla. Do it like those types of games, but it's just a first-person shooter. If people want to play it and earn the characters, they can. Do they want to pay for the characters? They can. Do they want to do a battle pass and earn special characters? They can. Like, do it, even release it like that. You will print fucking money.
Yeah.
Print money. People fucking loved Time Splitters. Dude, Time Splitters 2 and Time Splitters 3 Future Perfect were some of the best fun I've ever had on consoles playing with my buddies. Even with the weird GoldenEye style aiming shit. Like, great fucking time, dude. But no, we don't want to release a shooter with 120 characters or whatever in it. Like, did you ever play any of the Time Splitters games? There were characters like just a stick figure with a fishbowl for a head. There was like a little girl that was demonically possessed. Yeah. Like a teddy bear, a giant chicken. It was all kinds of weird shit. It was great, dude. You could make a gacha game out of it.
Dude, for sure.
For fuck's sake. There's so much money that you could make with time. Anyway, sorry, I'm on a rant. Diablo 4 DLC.
Dude, so the trailer for this came up, right? And I was like watching this trailer. I was like, damn, this looks badass. This trailer's selling me really hard. This game looks like it's going to be awesome. And then it said Diablo 4 DLC. I was like, I cannot be asked to play Diablo 4 at this point.
I will say, owning Diablo 4 and having played it, it's a fun fucking game.
Is it?
I don't know if I would buy the DLC unless it was on sale, because to be honest with you, I still think I prefer Grim Dawn.
So that's what I was going to say. Is like, is there a reason when Grim Dawn exists and it's still really fun?
Yeah. It's different. Like, I got my puppy's name, Lilith, I got from Diablo. That's the main villain in Diablo 4 is Lilith, is one of the demon ladies. And which, fitting name because she's a little hellion. But, yeah, the DLC looked cool and everything, but again, I haven't even beat the base game, so right. I'm not super worried about that. Up next was one that I sure am hyped for. Fable, the new Fable game.
I like what they've done with it. Like, it looks like the graphics look amazing and it looks super cute. Like, I've never played a Fable game, so I'm not even sure really how they go. But like, this one piques my interest because it looks really neat.
I would love to do so me and Ryan were going to do Fable for the show. I don't think we ever did because I don't think Ryan could get it working because he didn't own it. And I was trying to get him to pirate it and yada, yada, yada. It didn't work. So we didn't do it. But to me, Fable is like the fantasy RPG version or equivalent of like Shrek.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just pokes fun at that. Like everyone, like when you first start out, they go, "Oi, chicken chaser." Everybody talks like this. They all have their real thick British accents when they talk to you. And it's fucking hysterical. The whole game's hysterical, dude. Like you can you can earn different nicknames. You can call yourself Arseface. So everyone will refer to you as Arseface.
I never did it,
but it's hilarious. Like, Arseface. Oh, you're the great Arseface. Yeah, it's tremendous. And then there's Fable 2 and 3, which I don't have near as much experience with. But that first Fable game, I fucking love that game. We should do it for the show. But this reboot of it, man, it looks crisp.
It really does.
I know what, and they did a little more of the game in this one, whereas that first release trailer was more just like a, hey, we're doing this type thing. But even that was entertaining as hell because your main character comes out eventually, and you see that the dude who's been talking on the camera the whole time is actually a giant, and it just looks super cool.
Hell yeah.
Fragpunk?
Yeah, Fragpunk, I remember this one a little bit. It's another multiplayer online shooter. It's like, I don't really see this one probably doing that well. It's more of like a cyberpunky, but not realistic cyberpunk, kind of like the whole cartoony cyberpunk. I think it might have been a 5 versus 5 shooter game. I was like, it's not for me.
It reminded me gameplay wise of a game that came out called Brink.
Okay.
Which is a free to play shooter that's actually available on Steam still. I don't think anybody actively plays it anymore, but it is there. And that game's whole selling point was like, ooh, parkour shooter. Like you could, and it was good at what it did, but it just never picked up steam. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen to this, but it's probably going to go the way of Brink. I could be wrong. This could be the next hit.
Yeah.
This could put Overwatch out of business. I highly doubt it, but it's that style of game. Like Overwatch style. Winterborough.
Yeah, this one, man, like I was watching the trailer and it had like this cute little animated rabbit kind of thing, but the narration was talking like this through the entire time, and there was just this cute little bunny and they had to make a burrow, and like everything about it was so disjointed from each other. I was just like, I can't get behind this at all.
Maybe it's one of those games that's like cutesy looking but harrowing.
I don't know, because it looked like the whole thing was like you were gathering things as this bunny. I don't know. It did not sell myself on it.
So you're telling me it wasn't Watership Down levels?
No, it did not seem very like Watership Down, no.
Next up was Mixtape. Now, was this the one with like the weird Juddy graphics? Like where they moved it like claymation style?
Yeah. Like the animation was like in graphics looked so stuttery and awful, and then like the premise of the game was like, I don't know, it was like going on road trips and dating. I was like, this has nothing for me. I was like, I'm in high school. I was like, there's nothing about this game that looks good to me.
Right. If I'm going to play a game where I'm in high school, I want to kill a god at the end of it. But yeah, I don't like the weird juddery frame rate. Like I like a smooth, like stuff like that will give me just motion sickness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not about that. You know that. There's games where I'm supposed to go real fast that I won't go real fast because it'll make me get sick real fast.
Yeah.
All right. Microsoft Flight Sim. This is the one that I was trying to remember earlier, right? So one of the things that they said was that they're trying to make this one smaller, file size wise, not game wise. There's way more in the game now. But file size, because right now, if I remember right, when I installed it last time on Game Pass, I think it's like 127 gigabytes or something like that. It's massive. But Microsoft Flight Simulator is so fucking cool, dude. Like the fact that it is the actual real world. And with the graphics now, like if you want to go fly and see the Great Wall of China, there's going to be the literal Great Wall of China down there in beautiful 3D rendering. It's come so far from the ones that we used to play in school where I would always crash my plane trying to land.
Yeah. I have no doubt these games have gotten so much better and are so cool. I'm not that interested in flying. Just to fly, you know what I mean?
And that's the thing for me. Like I don't play it because I'm like, oh, I want to fly. I play it and I'm like, let me go look at this, and I'll take off and I'll go fly and I'll go look at something cool. You know what I mean? Like I'll look at my hometown and fly over that. Like I remember I crashed into my house and I was like, hey, I just landed in my quote backyard because it was still rudimentary in even last generation. But I played at the very beginning and they added a lot of updates. And then looking at this one and just the stuff that they displayed in the trailer, I'm like, dude, if that's how it's going to look gameplay, because that could have been rendered. You know what I mean? But if that was gameplay, oh man, I might melt my fucking computer. I'm gonna have to get an upgrade. Elder Scrolls Online, Gold Road.
Cool.
I appreciate that they're adding more of the Oblivion area in there. Pretty soon, all of Cyrodiil is going to be in the game.
Okay, that is cool.
So I'm happy about that. Elder Scrolls Online is super cool for people who are into the lore because it happens way before all of the other games, but they have added almost everywhere in that game. There's still a few places you can't go, but there are a lot of places that you can go that you can't go in the main games.
That's cool.
So it's really interesting. Like it's like people go into Elder Scrolls Online and they go into some places and they look around and they're like, all right, and they compare it to the screenshots from the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer, like that little bit of landscape that you see, and they're like, where's it go? That's how they figured out that it's probably going to be Redfall or Red Rock, or up where the Bretons and people are from, but you never know. So
yeah,
it's just, so kudos to them. Still another game that's been around for a long time now, and they're still kicking so good on them. Life is Strange Double Exposure. I'm not really into this series. I'm
familiar with it ish, but I've never played it. It just never looked like it was, my kind of thing. But the one thing I did is did the trailer spoil the first game? Like, I wasn't sure because they just said something about a character in it, and I was like, is this a spoiler?
No, I'm not actually sure.
Anyway,
I never played the first one, so I'm actually not sure. But I didn't hear any of the outside Xbox crew remark about it being a spoiler.
Okay.
And I feel like, because they all played it, so I feel like one of them would have been like, well, that's a spoiler.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they didn't, so maybe not. But I know what you're talking about, though, and I got the same vibe where I was like, what? Should you have said that in the trailer? Okay, whatever. Indiana Jones.
Yeah, dude, I have absolutely no faith in this one. I said, I'm worried about it being a PlayStation 2 quality kind of game, just churned out for the franchise movies. I don't trust this one at all. I don't think.
So it's a first-person Indiana Jones game.
Yeah.
Right? First off, that's kind of odd. But I have faith because it's the development team behind the Wolfenstein reboots. And those were really good.
Okay.
So again, this is a 50-50. It could be really, really good, or it could be another movie cash grab. We'll see.
And the way, there's one thing that really kind of like made me think like, oh, this looks like it's kind of low quality game. It's just the way like when you were in that first person mode and you could see Indiana Jones holding his whip and it just looked stupid as hell.
Yeah. I have no defense for that, but I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I don't particularly, excuse me. I don't particularly care for Indiana Jones or the movies, you know what I mean? But I know a lot of people really hold that shit near and dear to their heart. So it's one of those things where like for those types of people, I really hope that game's good so they can like be indie. You know?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel the same way, but I'm kind of like where you are. It's like Indiana Jones I thought was cool as a kid, but I never really got into it. I was more of like a James Bond kind of kid. So.
Yeah. It's like, Indiana Jones is cool. Have you heard of this guy named Austin Powers? Like, because let me tell you, he is an international man of mystery and he's super cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
The next one was a Mecha Break.
Yeah. I kind of liked this and I hope it's good, but it's one of those things where it's like people have tried to make games with mechs before and they just never turn out that great. But if somebody can come along and make a good game where you're basically a Gundam, I would be all about that shit. I just haven't found one that I thought was good.
There's a handful of them out there. Like you got your Armored Core, but those are way not...
that's not like...
new player friendly. They are very, very in-depth and technical, and it's beyond me, right? Two games that I have always wanted to try, and I have the PS3 versions on my hacked PS3, is the Dynasty Warriors Gundam games.
Oh, I didn't know those.
Because they did two.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, you give me a Gundam and throw me against 1,000 other Gundams and let me whip some ass. That sounds badass. I don't remember this trailer. I might have had to deal with Lilith because I don't remember a mech trailer, but like you said on here, a lot of potential, but could also be terrible. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I have a Gundam game in my Steam library that I need to install. It's a legit Gundam game.
Okay.
That's supposed to be super cool. So I'll report back if it's any good.
Sounds good, man.
But yeah, as long as this Mecha Break doesn't go full Armored Core style, I'll be all right. All right. Wu Chang.
Yeah, it just looks like another Souls-like. Is all I got from it. It just made me think, man, I should probably play a Souls-like game at some point.
You really should. Like, of all the people I know who should play a Dark Souls game, it's probably you.
I know, man. I'll get around to it eventually. Probably. Maybe.
Then there was Avowed. So this is one of those games that I think is a terrible name choice because it's not an easy to remember name.
I don't remember which game this is, honestly.
So Avowed is the first-person RPG coming out by Obsidian. The company that did Fallout New Vegas, they did Outer Worlds.
Okay.
And then they've done other things too. Like, so Avowed is a first-person RPG that takes place in the world of Pillars of Eternity.
Oh, okay.
Which Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 are CRPGs, like Baldur's Gate-esque style games.
Gotcha.
But they're by Obsidian. So it's all in the same world, and it looks stupid cool. It's kind of going to be like their take on a Skyrim-esque type, like Elder Scrolls game. So I have high hopes for it, but it's another one of those that has the potential to just fall flat, and I really hope it doesn't. Okay. Because it looks really cool. Atomfall.
Yeah, I remember watching this trailer, and it's like everything about it just looked so slow. Like the concept of it seemed pretty neat. It seemed kind of like cross between like Fallout-y, and it seemed like kind of like something that would happen after a nuclear fallout kind of thing. But everything in the trailers made this game look like the slowest thing ever. Like if you think walking in the fishing game we played this week seemed slow, this looked like it went like half the speed of that. I was just like, I can't with a game this slow.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you go back to those old Pokemon games that don't have running shoes.
Oh my god.
And you just suffer till you get your bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It looked interesting conceptually. I wonder if it's going to be a situation like Plague Tale, where I'm going to enjoy watching someone play it, so I get the story of it,
right,
but I don't actually have to play through the game itself.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows. Fuck yeah.
It looks really damn cool, dude. Like I like that they're finally going to like an Asian setting in it. The only thing is, it's like, man, I need to play some Assassin's Creed game. I keep meaning to. Like, I started Assassin's Creed 1, and I was really enjoying it, but for some reason, just like, I think something else came up for the show that took over my time, and I never went back to it. But man, I dig Assassin's Creed as a concept. I just have never been able to get through a game.
I was going to say, if you beat Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, let me know, because I have 3, and then I have Black Flag, which is 4. So I can hop in at 3.
Okay.
or I can get 2 if I find it on sale or whatever. But, if you're not doing it for the show, then at 3, let me know. I'll play it in the background too. And then we can be like, oh man, just...
I think I got one on sale for $4 on Epic one time.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're finally going to feudal Japan. And apparently the guy you play as is a black dude, and everyone was at first was up in arms about it, and then they were like, actually, and then you look him up, and he is an actual real historical figure who was a samurai back then, who was an African American gentleman.
Take that, racist.
Maybe not. No, it wouldn't be. I guess it wouldn't.
Probably
be
just African.
An African gentleman. Yes.
Suck it, racists.
Yeah, this guy was exponentially cooler than you. So yeah, and it also made me think, oh yeah, Ghost of Tsushima just came out on PC now. That's another game I really fucking like to play because you play as a samurai, and that was the game, I don't know if you remember when it launched. The launch trailer was the dude, and he was walking through this area that was all leaves and flower petals, and it showed off that the game physics could handle those blowing in the wind, so the wind blows, and he's just walking through like this wind blowing fucking flower petals and leaves around. It looked so fucking cool, and then you play the game, and it actually does that.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, they weren't lying.
Hell yeah.
So, now that it's on PC, I'd like to get around to it eventually.
Hell yeah, man.
Eventually. Play it in 3 years when it's irrelevant. Stalker 2. Man, everything I see about this game every time just gets better and reminds me that we really need to play a Stalker game.
Yeah, dude. For sure. It's come up on the polls before, but never won. It makes me sad.
I know. It makes me sad in pants. No love to Stalker. It's always like, oh no, you guys play this fucking weird, obscure game or this really popular game. It's never right in the middle.
Yeah.
One of these weird ones. But Stalker 2 looks amazing. I really would like to play Shadows of Chernobyl at some point, which is the first one. Mm-hmm. I think it's Shadows of Chernobyl, Call of Pripyat. I think that's how you say that, Pripyat. And Clear Sky are the 3 original trilogy.
Okay.
And now they're doing Stalker 2. Fallout in Russia, but there's also weird shit going on too that's kind of not alien, but just I'll call it alien because it's not quite human. Okay. There's weird stuff going on. It's just, it looks super cool.
Yeah.
And then there's now, there's like a new Xbox.
Yeah, they're doing
coming out.
They're doing like new color variants and shit for like Xbox Series X and Series S, and I'm like, who gives a shit, y'all?
So this last one really cracked me up watching the Outside Xbox live stream because they were like, oh yeah, and there's one more thing, and they were like, oh, what is it? And then it came on, and they were looking at it, and it ended up being Gears of War, and Andy goes, Gears of War, I thought we were past this. Xbox, I thought we were past this.
Yeah, I was like, they were building it up to be this big, cool release, and it was just Gears of War E-Day. I'm like, who gives a shit?
It's like the last thing I remember about Gears of War that I thought was mildly cool was I think it was Gears 5, the last game. There was like a DLC that you could get where you could play as Batista.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And it's like, other than that, it's just another dude. Like the Gears games, this was my bitch about Gears forever. Since the first game, they have been the same game over and over and over and over, just slightly different stories. And I didn't quite gel with the first game, so there's been no reason for me to go back. You know. But it's got its hardcore legion of fans. I got to give it that. So, all right. So that leads us to the summer game showcase. Lego Horizon, adorable.
Yeah, super cute.
I love the Lego games. There's something just so charming about them that I love.
Yeah, they've really made something with themselves. Like, they're just precious. Like, all the Lego games, like, they're just cute, but still, like, seem like really decent little games. Like
they
it's
actually
popcorn.
are.
It's popcorn. It's good popcorn.
It really, dude, and I think you would enjoy them because they're actually quite good collectathons.
Yeah,
like going around and trying to find all the stuff and get it. Like, I had them back in the day.
I was sad I couldn't make Lego Batman really work on my computer. It was just too old.
Yeah, I think it's Lego Batman 3 is the one that I can get to run flawlessly.
Yeah,
and that's the one I think Kevin Smith randomly does a voice in for something. But I had Lego games on PlayStation 1 way back, like I think it was called Lego Island, where you could skateboard around and do mini games and stuff. So like I have a nostalgia for those types of games. So to see them still coming out, it's awesome. So I remember on PS4, they did the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World one. where you could play through Jurassic World and the Jurassic Park movies all in the same game. And I'm like, well, that's fucking cool. So I bought it and I played through. I didn't beat it. Shocker, I know. But I played through some of it and was like, this is really fun. It's something that I feel like would be fun to sit down and play, like if I were to stream it to Discord.
Yeah.
And like talking to people and just have everybody enjoy the little silly jokes that the game tells when you're playing through it. Like the shooter scene, instead of like goriness or anything like that, his hand just pops off.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I was like... it's tremendous.
And I like how they're diving into like video games now, like Horizon Zero Dawn, I guess is the one that's kind of like playing off of. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they're just like, actually, what if we took, it's like demaking it, but Lego style.
Yeah.
No More Room in Hell 2.
Was there a first one?
I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't remember the first one. So there's that. Hego, my ego, sir. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. I
mean... all other hate for Harry Potter aside, Quidditch is just a terrible sport. So it's like, here's the thing, and we talked about this a little off mics, Dalton. If they would have included like Quidditch in Hogwarts Legacy as kind of like a blitzball kind of thing, that would have made sense and been pretty cool. But I just can't see wanting a standalone Quidditch game for any reason.
And I told you, like, there was one on Xbox that I played, and I never owned it, but I would rent it, and I would never buy it. Because it was like I would get the hankering to play Quidditch and I would play it. And by the time my rental was up, the novelty had worn off and I was tired of playing it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's very repetitive. And again, when you try to start making sense of it, it doesn't. So it's one of those things you kind of just got to roll with it. But it looked interesting for Harry Potter fans. I'm happy for you. It's not the style of game I'm looking for.
Yeah. I
have been considering reinstalling Legacy because I blew through the end of that game just trying to get to the end and beat it, and I don't remember much from it, and there's a lot I didn't see. So it's like they did a lot. That game, again, for all the hate that Harry Potter gets, that game is detailed. Like, the people who made that game love those books, and it is incredible to me the amount of just things to find and do in that game. And I want to go and explore more because it is really well put together. It's a very, very, very good video game. If you ever see it for like $10, it wouldn't be a wasted $10. If you just look at it, it's completely like they don't even really mention anybody from the books other than like there's one person whose last name is Weasley, and then like I think maybe a professor or two. That's it. Like everything else is all new. Anyways. Cuff Bust.
It's just this cute looking little online multiplayer game. It looks like something that would be fun to like play with your friends for a little bit, but like it wasn't anything serious. I just thought it was cute.
This was the game Cuff Bust. This was the one where they were trying to bust out of the place,
yeah.
Right? So that's made by one dude. He did, what other game did he do? That's really popular. It's a different style of game, and we've talked about it before. Whatever this other guy, fuck, it's fucking me up. Hold on. Quick Google search. Oh, my phone's trying to... No, I did not want you to start playing my podcast.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Pause. Okay. Jesus. I'm used to my old phone. That feature never worked right. So I never had to worry about it, like Siri or anything like that, just randomly hearing me. I'm going to call it Siri so it doesn't activate.
Yeah.
But, all right. 2-star games. Yeah, well, what was the other game he did? It's Choo Choo Charles.
Oh!
That's what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy did the creepy train.
This is completely different from that.
Yeah, that's what I was like. It's like you're playing as gummy bears, but it's very violent, and you're trying to... It looks like it would be a fun game to play with friends.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be a good time for anybody who picks it up and plays it with a group, like, for sure. Star Wars Outlaws looks badass.
It looks really good. And it's another Ubisoft game, so... It's probably well constructed, but pretty similar to their other games, but it looks really good. And if the lightsaber duels in it are good, that'd be nice.
and people hate on the Ubisoft formula or whatever. I'm one of those people that I like it. Because I know when I go into a Ubisoft game, I'm going to have certain things that I need to do.
Yeah.
And it's like they might skin it different ways, but I know that like I'm going to go need to find a tower of some sort, and it's going to unlock part of the map. But I like knowing that, because I'm not going in completely blind and wandering around being like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, and how many games have taken that concept and just kept building on it that get so much high praise for doing the same thing Ubisoft's been doing for like 15 years?
Yeah. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. Man, it's a frog in my throat. think the frog's name is Link. Anyway, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws though looks like a badass Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
So like I'm stoked to play it, and it made me be like, oh man, Jedi Survivor or Jedi Outcast. Jedi Outcast is the one I have. I really should play that because. And if we ever do it, it is the combat is Soulsy-esque. It's just with lightsabers and shit. So that could be fun. Neva?
I think it was Neva. I don't actually remember, but it's made by the same people that did Grease. So it has that really cool art style. And just made me think, man, I should probably go play Grease.
What's hilarious to me is like, okay, is it Neva or Neva? And I remember when Grease came out, is it Gris or Grease?
Right?
It's like, what? I was like, dude, what? You guys really like 4-letter names that no one knows the actual pronunciation. It's like, oh, you mean that game Grits? Yeah. But yeah, it looked cool. Very pretty art style. Yeah. As was Grease. Civ 7. I was watching that trailer and I'm like, what was funny to me is in my head I went, surely this is a Civilization game. And then like not 20 seconds later, Andy goes, this looks a lot like Civilization. And it ended up being Civilization 7. And hell yeah, another Civ game. I haven't put nearly as much time into Civ 6 as I did Civ 5, but I have played enough Civilization to the point that I played it for so long that I stopped playing it, went to sleep, and dreamed about playing it to the point that I would wake up with anxiety because it always felt like I was really rushing to get everything in before my turn was over, and it was just never a good time.
Yeah.
Happens to me every time I play Civ because there's no just, okay, I'm going to log into Civ and play for an hour. If you ever see Steam Machine Dalton's playing Civilization and then it goes away quickly after that, I have decided I don't feel like sitting there for 6 hours because I will sit there for 6 to 8 hours playing Civilization and then be like, oh shit, it's 8:30 in the morning. So Civ 7, it looks beautiful. I don't think they actually showed any gameplay. I think it was all render stuff, but still very good trailer. Good, cool for it. Black Myth Wukong.
I saw this trailer and all I could think when I saw it, when they showed the guy from the back, because I was like, is that Lube from Dynasty Warriors? Because he had the same like headpiece like that Lube has. I was like, do not pursue Lube.
I fucking love Lube.
Hell yeah.
Even though he was a piece of shit in the books apparently, but he good guy. Good guy.
Good guy. Good guy.
Good guy. Good guy. Hey, he's a piece of shit, but good guy. Good guy. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong is an action role-playing game based on the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West, which was published in the 16th century. So that is a old story. And it looks super fucking cool, dude. You play as a monkey guy, and I'm all about it.
Hell yeah.
I'm all about it. Give me that monkey kung fu. Just go in there and whip some ass. And I love Chinese, I'll call it mythology because there's a lot of it that's romanticized. Yeah. Not to make fun or not to pick fun at the name, but like Romance of the Three Kingdoms is the story, but romanticized. Like there's things that are exaggerated to make it cooler.
Yeah.
Like people may have had magic back then. Like I'm not one to shun, you know what I'm saying? But like there are things that are mystical in those stories that you're like, oh, that's probably didn't actually happen. But fuck, who knows? It could have been killed out of us. Who knows? But Chinese mythology is super cool. So like this game looks badass and it's Chinese mythology. It's like I love me some Dynasty Warriors. So you want to give me some more of that in this style? I'm here for it. Once Human.
Don't remember that at all.
I think that was a remake of something that came out back in the day. But I think I'm thinking of a game called Too Human.
I don't know, man.
Don't remember. All right, moving on. Warhammer Space Marine 2. Happy for Warhammer fans.
Yep, that's how I feel.
It looks cool. I think I have the first Space Marine. I think I got it for stupid cheap, but I have not played it, so I have no opinion. Metaphor Refantasio.
Dude, the second that popped up on the screen, I was just like, man, this looks like Dalton.
Yeah, what was funny to me was you had mentioned something about it looking like Persona, and I was like, well, that's funny because it's Atlas, so it absolutely is Persona esque, the art style. But yeah, man, it's the new game coming out from them. It looks super cool. The character designs, they've really fallen into that art style. But man, that art style is just chef's kiss. I mean, they did it with the Persona 3 remake. They'll probably do it when they do a Persona 4 remake that I'm sure is coming down the pipeline eventually, or if they do Persona 2. Please do Persona 2. Just combine both of the games into one. We can handle that now. It'd be super fucking cool. Atlas, I know. I just want to speak this into existence because this is the way that our show is. And I just want to bring it to light. So like I was talking about Time Splitters earlier, if I can speak that into existence, I also want to speak into existence a Persona 2. Put them together. If you could just take Eternal Punishment and Innocent Sin and just stick them together, because there's no need to have them as two different games now. Like I said, we can handle it now. Just put them together, make it pretty, and then release Persona 2 like that. Again, you will print money.
Yeah.
So it's like, just do that. But I heard a good point on the discussion between the Outside Xbox folks, and that was, this looks a lot like a Persona game. It looks like it plays a lot like a Persona game. I wonder if they made this for people who look at Persona and they're like, man, that's really cool, but they get anxiety when they look at and see it's Persona 5. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh man, there's already 5 of these, even though they don't connect. Not everybody's going to know that.
Yeah.
So you look at that and you get intimidated by, like, oh man, well, I don't want to jump in that far into a series. Well, boom, now you have Metaphor Refantasio. It's the first game.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I hope it does better than Soul Hackers 2 did. Soul Hackers 2 came out and kind of was met to, like, it was just mid. So while you stepped away, I vented about how they needed to remake Persona 2 instead of Persona 4. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I lost my
Batman Arkham Shadows is next. And
I immediately thought of you.
Yeah. V Arkham. Virtual reality Arkham City, basically, is what it really looks like. The only problem with it is it's only for MetaQuest 3, and I have MetaQuest 2.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah.
Boo, Wendy Testaberg.
Because that's when I would have probably bought day one, because just being able to go boom, 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 and pretending like I'm Batman, it just sounds awesome.
Bro, and if it had the crunchiness of Arkham, like the Arkham games, like that would be, so cool. Accidentally punch your TV. I was watching the Outside. I know I'm talking about them a lot, but that's what I've been watching for comfort. The Outside Xbox people play Hitman 3, and one of the levels you can get into a slap fight thing where you go and stand at the thing and people walk up and you have a slap contest. And they were talking about, how much fun a slap contest type game would be in VR. And then they're like, yeah, until you accidentally smack a lamp across a room. Smash. And he's like, well, that's why you have ample room around you to, which quickly, I want to tell people, if you want some entertaining stuff, Outside Xbox has a series with Hitman they call 3 Ways to Play. And it's Andy playing it the way you should, Jane attempting to play the way you should, and Mike playing Hitman like I do. So it's like Andy's dressed appropriately, Jane's dressed appropriately, Mike's in the clown outfit. Like that kind of shit. Anyway, moving on. Batman Arkham looks really cool. Street Fighter 6, bro. Okay, first of all, I was super hype at first, and so was the Xbox crew, because I thought this was a new Capcom versus SNK. Same. And I was like, oh shit, I got goosebumps right now. I'm like, oh shit, son. And then it ended up just being DLC for Street Fighter. But still, the fact that they are adding Terry and Mai, two of like the most iconic SNK characters, to this game, I'm just like, man, I never bought Street Fighter 6 because I was just like, I don't really want to learn another competitive fighting game because I know how I get with those. But Terry's in it now. Bust a woof. Oh man. See, I was like, oh my. I love Mai. Yeah, dude. She's one of my favorites in King of Fighters, man. And not just because of the jiggles. Like, she actually plays very well. But man, 2 good reasons. Fuck yeah. It might be 4, depending on where she's standing. Tears of Metal, or was it Tears of Metal? Or I think it was Tears of Metal, and like it showed absolutely no gameplay. So I was like, okay, I'm going to completely forget you exist. Yeah, like your show gameplay losers. Yeah. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, new Dragon Ball fighting game, looks really crisp. Yep. I don't have much else to say about that. Delta Force Hawk Ops. What? First of all, what a fucking name. Hawk Ops. Delta Force Hawk Ops. Like, sure. That almost sounds like somebody spoofing Call of Duty. Right? But it's not. It's not. And it looked okay. It's one of those that I'm like, man, if it's a good military shooter and there's a good single player, I might be interested. Yeah. But if it's straight online, nope. God damn it. Yeah. Fatal Fury, City of Wolves. This was a beat 'em up, or is this a new fighting game? I always forget which one Fatal Fury is. I think Fatal Fury. Fuck. Fatal Fury was a fighting game, I think. That was what Terry came from. Right. So I'm trying to remember if this one. I think this was a new fighting game, but let me double check that. It looks cool. I'm always down for more stuff from SNK, so it's a fighting game. Yeah. So like I'm always down for more SNK stuff. So good on them. And bringing back Fatal Fury, I think, is a really good touch. Hell yeah. And I would like to thank them for including Veronica in the newest King of Fighters, because she wasn't in the other one that I have on GOG, which I think is 13 or 14. But in 15, she came back, and I'm very happy. I like my boxing girl.
Yeah, you do.
Even though, like, I went through all of that, finally beat the game, beat whatever, and then looked it up, and she's the second hardest character to learn how to play. And I was like, hey, of course I did that to myself. So then Battle Crush. No memory.
Me neither.
Makes me think of WWE Crush Hour, which was the weird Twisted Metal style game. Blumhouse shit.
It was a bunch of these little horror games by the same company, and I was like, I don't have any opinions on this. Good for y'all.
Yeah, so Blumhouse is a horror movie company that decided to get into gaming when they hit success. I think they did the Five Nights at Freddy movie.
Okay.
And it got really successful, and they were like, oh, hey, this might be an untapped market for our company. So they are focusing on strictly horror games. So fingers crossed that they actually come out with some good shit.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. We're pulling for you. I'm pulling for you. I don't know what name, but I'm pulling for you. Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Now, I wanna start off.
Okay.
All of y'all got so hype. So hype when that Ninja Turtles game came out. And I was so happy for you guys. And then I saw this, and I heard that and I was just like, and then it popped in, and I was like, oh shit, this is like that Shredder's Revenge game, but it's Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So now I'm all about this one. I'm sure the Shredder's Revenge game was great. I'll play it eventually, but like Power Rangers, I was like, oh fuck yeah. And I tagged Dave on Discord and said, someone listens to Tadpog too, because they just recently covered the Power Ranger games. Yep. And shout out to Tadpog, Tyler, and Dave play old games, and Ian.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it looks good. It looks exactly like Shredder's Revenge, but Power Rangers. So like, I'll probably play it. I liked Power Rangers too, but it's just so funny that they're so similar.
It's not the same dev. I was shocked
too, actually.
I thought it was the same dev. They just reskinned it with Power Rangers, because I was like, brilliant. That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
But I want to give it a try.
Yeah, I'll try it.
It might be something that I hope the demo comes out and I can download it and check it out.
Yeah.
But knowing me, I'll get it because I'm a sucker for Power Rangers. I like even the bad games. I enjoy them for what they are.
I have the old Game Boy game that's still pretty fun, honestly. It's not too bad for a Game Boy beat 'em up.
Yeah, I had the one on Game Gear, and it was punishingly hard from my memory, but it was fun. All right, so up next we got Deer and Boy.
Shockingly, this is a game about a deer and a boy.
and it's rated adults only. They didn't really go into detail about what actually happens in it.
It just looks like a cute game about a deer and a boy. They're lost in the forest together. I don't know. No opinion.
Yeah. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Man, that's one of those games, I think I've talked about this before, that I always go back to, and I install it and I play it for a little bit. And it is so punishingly difficult because of the type of game it is. It's an RPG, but it is also a life simulator of sorts. Like, you have to, it's real medieval times. Someone stabs you, it actually affects you. It's not like another game where you're like, oh, and a little bit your HP goes down. No, if somebody gets a good stab on you, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Protect yourself before you wreck yourself.
And I can definitely see the market for something like that. I just like to feel strong in video games.
Oh, I completely agree. But I might play that game with God mode now.
There you go.
But on PS4, you just kick my dick in the dirt.
Fair enough.
Now it's like, now my struggle with that game is my computer doesn't run it on Ultra, and that really bothers me because it's old. And I'm like, this game is not that new. It should run it on Ultra.
Yeah.
But that's just me being a shithead. Slitterhead.
I don't really remember what it was, but I remember not liking it.
I Google quick because Slitterhead, song by Myth Matter. No, I need the game.
See, it's not even the first Google result. That tells you something.
It wasn't. It was the second. Okay. This is a game, the new game from the Silent Hill creator.
Oh, it didn't look good.
So there's a possibility that this game will scare the fucking pants off of you, but it looks interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Not always, like, just because someone legendary is involved in it doesn't mean it's always going to be good. Looking at Mighty Number 9. Okay, this next one. I sent you and Willie this trailer twice.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, you guys have to watch this. This is the most ridiculous thing I've seen in so fucking long. Okay, game is called Killer Bean. And the trailer is the most action movie fucking thing I've seen in so long, to the point that, like, do you remember the movie Wanted?
No.
Okay, so in Wanted, the whole thing was that, like, they were just the perfect assassins. Like, he could focus on a fly and shoot a fly's wings off, and he could, like, throw bullets. So like he could shoot his pistol, but he would like throw his arm when he did it, and it would throw the bullet around a corner.
Oh, that one. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what this game reminded me of when he shot the bean. You're playing as a bean. Everyone is beans. And they're anthropomorphic, so they like have eyes and arms and legs, but they're beans. And he just shoots this bullet, and the bullet flies through the air, slow motion bullet time style, and then like hits something and then ricochets to the right and then hits his target. And I was like, that was fucking cool. And then the game just proceeded to be Max Payne on steroids, but you're a bean.
Yeah, it's really cool because like I like this one a lot too because it's like that level of ridiculousness that I remember in video games that I don't feel like we've gotten in a while.
Yes.
And I appreciate it.
It looks like unadulterated stupid fun. Yep. It just looks like it's going to be an absolute blast and you're going to laugh and it's just ridiculous and I'm here for it. It's kind of like that. What was that game that came out, High on Life? If I was more interested in Rick and Morty style humor, that looked like a game that would be like that, just ridiculousness. Yeah. But I don't want to hear something that sounds like Morty talking to me and my gun. And plus there was some shit in that game that was kind of gross.
Yeah.
But everything I saw in this game just looked funny.
Yeah, agreed.
And just over the top. And if there's not a bean in there that sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I will be disappointed. So then Cairn.
I didn't get much from this trailer. It was like this, showed some mountain climbing stuff, and I don't know. I didn't have any real interest in it.
I think this is like, I think the game is a mountain climbing simulator, if I remember right.
Okay.
So, meh. That's your thing.
Yeah.
Now that Darby Allin broke his foot and can't go climb Everest, he can do that instead. Wanderstop was next. I don't remember much about Wanderstop.
It just looks like another one of those little cozy kind of games. Not something that I really mess with.
Fair enough. Good for the people who are fans of those types of games. Unknown 9?
Don't remember it at all.
Quick. Because it makes me think of that movie Section 9? Sector 9?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Unknown 9 Awakening on... Oh, it's already... The wish list is on Steam. All right, so I was going to read the description and then we can move on. You are Haruna, a Quaestor? 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 Whatever. Born with the ability to venture into a mysterious dimension, the Fold. I have a few of those on my body. On her quest for powerful hidden knowledge, she must learn to master the powers of the Fold to fight a secret society with a hostile agent or a hostile agenda. Okay, so third person big game. Interesting, but there's 100 of these.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Inotria.
Yeah, I don't really remember this one either. I mean, this is another example of name your game something people will remember.
For fucking real, bro. Inotria, the last song. Oh, it took me to the official website. Okay. Well, there's a demo available for people who are interested. Okay, so this was made in Unreal Engine 5, though. So at least this game is probably going to look really fucking pretty. If anything at all. Inotria is a beautiful sunlit land inspired by... Oh, this is the Italian. Okay, that's right. This is Italian Dark Souls.
Oh,
it is Dark Souls based on Italian legend.
Gotcha. Okay, sure.
That's right. So, again, could be cool. But the name, Inotria, now that I'm remembering that, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so that's probably an Italian word for something.
Gotcha.
Inotria. No idea what the fuck it means, though. Listeners, let us know. Probably means butthole.
Probably.
Wouldn't that be really funny?
Yeah,
if you just like picked an obscure foreign name and named your game that when people Googled it was just like butthole. The First Descendant.
Not very memorable.
Don't remember much about it. Outer Sloth Games.
That's the ones from the people who made Battle Chef Brigade. So I'm not on that at all, but I know you are.
Only one of them's made by them.
Okay.
That was like, so Outer Sloth is a thing where the people who made, was it the people who made Among Us? Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's the people who made Among Us. Made so much money that they didn't know what to do with it. So they've started this Outer Sloth thing, which funds indie devs.
Oh, okay.
So one of the devs is the people who made Battle Chef Brigade, and they have their new game coming out. What was the name of it? You had it on here, and you put no, not Squad Bus. Anyway, it was like Hyper Card. It's a card game.
Oh yeah,
like a card battle game. And to me, that looked really cool. I knew immediately that you would be put off by it because I knew you didn't really care for Battle Chef Brigade. That's fine. That's okay. But I thought that was cool. But the concept of Outer Sloth games, I really thought was very cool.
That is cool.
So I'm glad that they exist. Among Us, I guess, is getting a TV show or something.
I didn't really pay much attention because I was just like, do people still play Among Us? So
I think it's getting a TV show. Well, I think it's like each episode is going to be like its own condensed, confined story.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't see how you're going to... I mean, I guess it's going to be like Clue, I guess. It's just,
yeah.
Which, hey, Clue for a new generation. I'm all about that, whatever. This is the one that I was curious how you would feel about it. Sonic Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Yeah, so from what I know about this game is it's mostly like remastered Sonic Generations with some additional content with Shadow. And like, even as a Sonic fan, I'm probably not going to get it because it's just basically Sonic Generations with more DLC. I'm like, I already played through Sonic Generations pretty recently. I'm not super interested, honestly.
That's fair. And I haven't played a Sonic game in a while. Frontiers does look good, though. Like, Sonic Frontiers looks good, but that's a different style of game, I think. So, which I think I might gel more with that than whatever we played for the show. What did we play for the show?
It was Sonic Generations.
Oh. Well, then there you go. Yeah, that game was fun, but God, I fucking suck at 2D Sonic. I'm bad at it. The 3D levels I was all right at, but the 2D ones, God almighty. I'm no better than I was when I was a kid playing it on my Game Gear.
It's funny.
Dune Awakening.
I was bored.
I mean, good for Dune fans. Battle Aces. Oh, I think that's I think that was the Battle Ace, whatever.
That explains why I have the one nope like, in all caps.
The finals.
Don't remember it.
Don't remember what that was. Yeah, don't remember. Alan Wake 2 DLC.
Good for them.
Awesome. New World DLC. Surprise.
I am too. I thought that game was dead.
I installed it the other day, right? I was like, I haven't installed it in probably, it was like 70 gigs. Installed it, logged in, and started running around, and remembered why I quit playing that game when me and Megan played it. It runs really choppy on my computer for some reason.
Gotcha.
And I'm running around, and it's being choppy, and people in the global chat are talking about, man, this game's choppy. So I was just like, all right, so it's not just me? All right, cool, uninstall. It's like, fuck it. I have other things. If I want to play, you know what's good and free, even though I've paid for expansions because that's all they really charge for, and I'm cool with that. Guild Wars 2.
Work.
To play it is free. If you want to get expansions and things, you pay for them, but to play the game, completely free. Where was I? Honkai Star Rail. I like that game. I know it's not for everybody, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm happy that they're still doing content.
Yeah, for sure.
I uninstalled it because it's not exactly the smallest game in the world and I needed some room, but I'll reinstall it eventually. Dark and Darker.
Don't remember it. I just remember I didn't like it.
Don't remember it. Yeah, don't remember it either. Kunitsugami.
I don't remember this one either, but I remember that it looked bad.
Yeah, couldn't tell you. Hyperlight Breaker.
This one seemed pretty cool. It looked like, I didn't look into it further, but it looks like it is like Hyperlight Drifter, but 3D. And it just made me think, man, I need to play Hyperlight Drifter at some point.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't remember much about it. Party Animals.
Just looked like a cute multiplayer party game. Might be good for like Game Buds or something.
Reminded me of, and it makes me wonder if it is the sequel to Gang Beasts.
Yeah, it did remind me of Gang Beasts a little bit, yes.
It's kind of got that vibe to it. Skate, baby. There is a possibility that game is going to be shit, and there's a possibility that is going to be really cool. Yep. Because they're wanting it to be like the old Skate games, but an open world with like 60 skaters at a time.
Yeah.
Like an MMO Skate game. And that has the possibility of being super dope. I would be really into it. And Skate is a little easier to control than, say, like the game I play, Session, which is a skateboarding simulator. And much more difficult to control. Even I mean, Skate is difficult compared to, like, say, Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
You know, but I would say it's the good medium between Tony Hawk and then Session and Skater XL is like Skate is a good medium. Skate 3 is still my favorite skateboarding game of all time. So I have high hopes for this. I am in the pool to be allowed into the beta.
Okay.
But I'm in there with thousands and thousands of other people. So I'm in the Discord along with, I think, 40,000 other people. So like, if I ever get that, I'll be super happy, but I fucking highly doubt I do. Even though, like, when they were like, oh, what are some reasons that you would want to do this beta? And I was like, well, I'd really like to cover it on my podcast that I could give it, to all of my listeners. They don't need to know how many people actually listen to this show. I was like, yeah, but no, I haven't heard anything, but it would be cool. Pal World update.
Sure. Does anybody still play Pal World?
I mean, I played through it and I beat it, and I could tell you that when they saw that they were doing this, I was like, if it's not free, I don't care.
Yeah.
So if it's free, I might install it just to go look and check it out. But like, it's a cool concept. It's kind of like when I get the hankering to play Ark, and I install Ark and play it for a while, and then I uninstall it because the game's like 300 gigs with all its DLC.
Yeah.
But
next time you get that hankering, let me know. I'll download it too. Me and you can do some bro sessions on Ark.
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. And what's cool about Ark is in the little Steam section where you have all your DLC, you can unclick the ones you don't plan on using and save all of that fucking space. So it's like we could talk beforehand and be like, what kind of island do we want to play on? And then be like, okay, so let's click this one. Because depending on what DLC you have, I think you would have gotten it at the point where they came with all of them.
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to double check, but not important.
Yeah, well, that's for another time, yeah. Valorant coming to consoles.
Pretty cool.
Good for Valorant players. everybody on console, get ready to bitch and complain about people using aimbots, because that's typically what happens. Unless it's just for consoles, then good on you. You guys have fun. Squad Busters.
It was just another cutesy online multiplayer competitive little game. It was way too cutesy even for me, so I'm good.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the hell out of Monster Hunter World, so I'm definitely excited. This looks like it's adding a lot of cool new stuff, and I don't think it was any gameplay in it. It was just mostly...
Correct me.
I was saying it was just mostly like the... I'm trying to remember the word for when it's not gameplay. It's the cinematics. But it looked really cool, and the new monsters they showed seemed pretty cool.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they say that this is going to be an open world Monster Hunter game?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No. I feel like I remember them mentioning that, or maybe it was just Andy and them asking if it was going to be. Maybe Jane asked that, but...
Regardless, I'll play it. I'm fully into the Monster Hunter stuff now. I really like it, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Glad it doesn't come out for a year, but I'm looking forward to it.
I have my qualms with the gameplay loop, at least of World. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I enjoyed the time that I put into it and what I played of it. So a new one piques my interest far more now than it would have before.
Yeah.
And especially like I'm also interested in, I believe, the Monster Hunter Stories games where it's like you catch the monsters like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Almost and fight them. Sounds cool to me too. And I'm also kicking myself that I didn't get that bundle that came with Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak, because it was like, why not? I could have loaded up the one that people say is inferior, but it's newer, right. So it might have more quality of life type stuff that people just don't.
Might pick that up at some point. We'll see.
Wilds looks really cool.
Yeah.
Again, though, they didn't really show any gameplay, so we'll see. And then to wrap this whole section up, because I know this has been a long section, but thank you for listening, people. Is Phantom Blade Zero, and it's another Souls-like.
Yep, another Souls-like. But this section had to be long because we probably don't have a lot to say about fishing.
That is 100% true, my good sir. And speaking of fishing, we did do some fishing, and holy shit, I just realized.
Wikipedia, buddy.
I didn't bring up the Wikipedia stuff, so uno momento, por favor. If we were going to play a Souls-like, which would be the first one that you would want to dive into? Just straight the first Dark Souls?
See, that's kind of what I was thinking. Just dive right into Dark Souls Remastered. Because, like, what's the Elden Ring would be a good start, but I don't know that I want my first Dark Souls to be the open world. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, the original Dark Souls is more segmented areas. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I don't blame you for that, because it's jumping straight into Elden Ring with the combat being as difficult as it is and how fucking massive that game is, it could be very overwhelming.
Right, exactly.
So working your way up to that, yeah, I can agree with that. I was just curious though if it was like, maybe you just wanted to like try Sekiro or something like that. It's a random one. I was just curious, and I was vamping for time while I was searching this up. So we played two fishing games. Let's you want to do Sega Bass Fishing first?
Let's do the one that they voted for.
All right, so you guys voted, and we appeased. We played Sega Bass Fishing, and that is known in Japan as Get Bass, which that's a great name. Why didn't they name that over here?
Right?
I want to get some bass. It's an arcade fishing game developed in 1997 by Sega for the Sega Model 3 hardware. The game has since been ported to the Dreamcast, Microsoft Windows, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the Wii.
Don't know that I knew that was on the Wii. Huh.
I could see it being fun on the Wii. So I'm trying to find something nice to say to start off. I think had I had this game on Dreamcast with the Sega fishing controller, or played this in an arcade with a fishing controller, that I would have had a much better time with it.
Yeah, the thing about this game is it just doesn't have... It's not a very deep game. It's a very small gameplay loop where you have time segments where you go try to catch the biggest fish you can to beat out the competitors. Every fish looks exactly the same. You're only catching largemouth bass no matter what you do.
Yeah. Some are slightly bigger than others, but that's about it.
And honestly, I don't even have a lot to say about this. I have it on the Dreamcast itself. It's one of the couple of Dreamcast games I own, and I played it on the PC. I don't know what it is about it. I had more fun playing it on the Dreamcast than I've had on the PC. I think it's just playing something more to its truer console is sometimes more fun. I do think an arcade version would probably be the best way to play this, but I don't think it translates well to PC. And I just think like it's so outdated.
Yeah, that too.
Like, it's a game that came out in 97. For 1997, you wanted to have a fun fishing game. I'm sure this would have scratched that itch for a lot of people in 1997. In 2024, not so much.
And this game, in a way, is the reason that the show has such an affinity for fishing games in a roundabout way, because you were playing this and you were like, man, I really want to play a fishing game that doesn't limit me to 3-minute time intervals and stuff. And I was like, well, hey, I have this game, Ultimate Fishing Simulator. You should check that out. And boom, the fishing bug was born. And
the rest is history.
The Steam machine. Yeah, the rest is history. And that's the thing that one of the things I dislike about this is when I play a fishing game, I'm looking to just like chill and fish.
Yep.
This is not that type of game. This is legit. This is an arcade game. It was looking to get your quarters. You had 3 minutes.
Yeah. And that's the thing with all those old Sega games, like a lot of them, I won't say all of them, but like they were all ports from arcade games, like this game, Crazy Taxi, like those sorts of games. Like they're super fun to play in the arcade when you're only wanting to spend 3 or 4 minutes at that machine. You can have that one game experience and have a really good time and be like, man, that was fun. I'm glad I played that. But then you try to sit down and play something like this on a console and you're just kind of like, oh, this really doesn't hold up for wanting... I don't want to play this game for hours at a time.
And I was going to say, even when you're standing at the arcade machine, you might, oh man, I'm going to play another round of that.
Yeah.
And you might do that 2 or 3 times, but then you're going to move on.
Yeah, because you're at an arcade and you have other options. And like, this game's just like, as a standalone, not sitting by any other arcade machines, I don't really see the point of it.
Yeah. And I feel like back in at least when I was a kid, I don't remember there being a lot of arcade machines like I've seen in Japan where they're like RPG games, but are arcade. And we didn't have any of that. It was always fighting games, shooting games, racing games, fishing stuff like that. So there wasn't really a lot of games that you would sit there and want to spend an hour at, you know what I mean? Unless you really fucking liked Moto Racer 4 or whatever.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the point of the game and the way the game is designed, is to get your quarter. You have a good enough time playing it for the 3 minutes you're playing it. You leave so the next person can put their quarter in. Yeah,
it's just like when they added the Guitar Hero machines. The courtesy thing was play a song, move on, so everybody else can get a turn. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the thing. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling so more people can come and spend money.
Yep.
It's like a casino for kids.
Absolutely.
Instead of banking in hundreds, they're banking in quarters.
Yeah. So I actually think with that, looking at it from that perspective, I think that changes my score slightly.
And again, I don't have much to say. I played this game for, hold on, I'll give you my total playtime, and I bet some of it's skewed for me just leaving
Probably.
it. Sega!
I can tell you my total time on it was 88 minutes. And that was with me playing it before I played Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2.
So my total time is 2.6 hours. Okay. I played 2 rounds of this. So I actually put in about 6 minutes. The rest of that was me dealing with the dog. So I'm uninstalling it right now because I'll probably never play it again.
Yeah, and if I'm going to play it again, I'm probably just going to plug in my Dreamcast and play it there.
Yeah, you're going to get the correct frame rate and all of that on the Dreamcast. If you have a CRT, it's going to be even better. It's going to run like it's supposed to. It doesn't translate well, and I don't have the nostalgia for it. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say. You want to give this a rating, and then we can talk about it?
Let's rate and move on.
All right. For what it was, for its time, sure, it was fun. And again, like we were talking about, giving it the view of the arcade and playing it in there. I'll give it 5.5 Dreamcasts out of 10 Aladdin's castles.
Yeah, you're actually a lot kinder to that than I expected you to be, because I'm pretty much right there with you. I was going to say 5, but since you said 5.5, it'd be weird if I said 5. No, I'm just going to stick to my guns. 5 fishing lures out of 10 Sonics.
There you go. Yeah, and it's like, I'm just trying to put it into the perspective of, I bet I would have had a blast with it.
In 1997.
In 1990s. Well, yeah, I was like 5. But yeah, I mean, I would have had a good time with it anytime. And if I'd have seen it in an arcade growing up, I would have probably had fun. Especially if there was a real controller involved. And I know we're not supposed to grade like that, but fuck it, it's my show.
Yep.
Yep. That's what we always say. Our show, motherfucker. Anyway, the next game we played, in my opinion, a much better fishing game, cough, cough, was called Fishing Sim World.
Pro Tour.
Well, I don't know what I did, but Fishing Sim World è un videogioco di pesca sviluppato da DevTale Games. Hold on. I clicked the wrong thing. Hold on one second. The Wikipedia is not in English, apparently. So I'm going to go to the Fishing Simulator Wiki. I'm an adult, not a kid. Thank you. That's the first time I've ever seen that it popped up. I was like, are you an adult or are you a kid?
Okay.
Weird question, bro. Anyway, Fishing Simulator. Son of a bit. By Cloud Entertainment for the Roblox platform. This is not what I'm looking for either. All right. Fishing Sim World is a fishing game, right? It's by Dovetail Games.
There you go.
Dovetail Games did Euro Fishing They've done a Bassmaster game. They did the Catch Carpin course. They know their fishing games, right? And just to quickly look in, while I'm looking at this, if you want, what was your opening impressions for this one?
Yeah, my opening impressions was, hey, it's another fishing simulator. It looks a little bit worse than the other ones we've played, but the gameplay still seems pretty similar. That was my first impressions.
Fair enough. Yeah, I basically had the same thoughts. I was like, well, this game doesn't look as good, but I liked the feel of it, like the way it played. So these guys have put out fishing simulators, like a few different kinds. Looks like they did a port of the 2006 version of the Microsoft Flight Simulator X for Steam. But that's beside the point because they also are in charge of the train simulators. So these guys are just really good at things that take a while.
Gotcha.
Trains and fishing and automobiles. So my first impression again was like, yeah, but I dove in and just started playing in the career mode. Like I know I did a lot more single player fishing. I think
you definitely did.
I think I've got like 40 hours in this game or something.
That is way more than I did. Yeah. So for me, I didn't really do much in the career mode. I probably played it once or twice, and then most of that other time was playing with you. I had a better time with this. The one thing that I will say this game, I'm going to give it its props. This one does the best job with multiplayer out of any of the fishing sims we've played. With some issues here and there, but overall, I think the experience was better.
Yeah, this was the first one that we were able to really see each other's character models well. And then and
interact with them in real time, because like in Call of the Wild, the Angler, like things would jump. Like your character would be here 1 second, there the next second. This game, you could watch your friend walk around, which seems stupid, but it makes a difference in immersion.
It really does. And the fact that like one of us, like we weren't that far from each other, so we could see each other while we were fishing. And one of us was like, I think I was like reeling in a catfish, or it might have been when you had a big carp on. And it was like, holy shit. And then we could look over and see you reeling in the fish and see the fish. Yeah. That was a big difference. Yes. And then like, cause I think back to how much fun we had in Ultimate Fishing Simulator, but in those we were literally like little icons. Yeah. Like that was your multiplayer. Was your friends were just
you could see where your friend was standing, but you couldn't see what they were doing at all, and you couldn't see what they looked like. And they were just like you said, this weird little looks like a pawn in chess little avatar standing in the corner.
Yeah, and then like you said in Call of the Wild, you could see each other, but it was very glitchy as far as it would jump around when we were running around. But in this one, I mean, dude, there was a point where I was out fishing on the lake and I saw you coming towards me in the boat, and I was just watching you cruising. Yeah. And I could see the waves coming off your boat and everything. And then I saw you slow down. And then I saw you stop, get up, pull out your rod, and cast out. And I'm like, well, that's fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
like,
big props for that.
It's really, really neat. And then I really like the fishing mechanics as far as catching them. It hasn't seemed unfair.
I do wish, as far as mechanics goes, that I understood in this game what caused like a good hook set versus like a poor hook set. It's like when you pull up on the rod, I don't know what caused it to be good or bad.
I will say, and I haven't done it either, so I can't be like, oh, I did it. But there are tutorial videos in this game, and I believe one of them is snagging, and it may explain it. And they're tutorial videos, so it's like it's not like it's going to make you sit there and play something. It's like you watch like a 2 or 3 minute thing, and it explains it to you. That might be something I'd do tonight, because I'm currently on a quest. We talked about this. It's called I googled it. This place really exists, and it's a fishing resort in Thailand. And of course, my Google's like, no, we don't remember what you were looking for. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Gilham's. That's right, Gilham's Fishing Resort in Thailand. Their whole shtick, because it's not a very big area, right? It's like it's a lake, but it's a relatively small sized lake in comparison to some of the places in this game. But all of the fish are massive, and there is, and I pronounced it wrong. So what was it?
Arapaima.
I kept want to say Arapamea, and I'm like, that's not right. Arapaima. There's an arapaima in that lake in the game that is like 500 pounds. And that is my goal, is to catch that. That is the fish of fish in this game. When I catch that fish, I can uninstall this one and then install one of the other ones and start playing one of those. But my goal, I want to catch the biggest fish in this fucking game. And I think it's going to be that one. There are also massive carp and catfish in that lake. So that was one thing too, is that this game had a decent variety of fish. Mm-hmm. But there was no ocean fishing.
Right.
It was all freshwater fishing. But you had...
And I will say that the maps in this game feel massive. Like in Ultimate Fishing Simulator, you just have a few spots that you could travel around, walk around to different spots, but the maps never felt big. This one, it felt like it could take you like hour to go across the lake in your boat sometimes.
Dude, specifically when we were on the Florida map, which apparently this lake in Florida not far from my house, which I think is kind of cool. Like I could go fish it in real life if I wanted to. But anyway, that's beside the point. This lake that like we were all fishing in like this cove area but there was reeds and stuff. And Willie was under the impression that that was the lake. And then I drove out past that and kept going. And he was like, oh shit. And then he looked at the map and saw like the scale of how far he had driven compared to how far he had actually gone on the map. And he was like, holy shit. And like, oh yeah, this is a lake, baby. This is a lake. Not all of the maps in this game are that big, but specifically that one, that lake is fucking massive. And that's just super cool to me. Like the scale of it, you know?
I did enjoy that. And I enjoyed that there were multiple ways to fish and you kind of got rewarded for doing it different ways. Like, it was obviously better to use like these baits and sink them to the bottom when you're trying to catch carp and catfish and things like that. But the bass and other aggressive hunter type fish would strike better on like a lure. So you kind of had to have that balancing act of like, well, if I put 2 rods out, I can do 2 with these baits on them and 1 with a lure and actively fish on the lure one and switch over to the other one if I get a bite.
Yeah. And I remember I first started learning about that when my dad was getting really into Euro fishing, because he was the one who he was like, yeah, man, I learned how to set down the pod and I got 3 rods out at a time. And he goes, and I'll get bites on all 3. And then I got to be like, oh shit, which one am I going to get for? The thing to remember in the game, and it works in this one too, because it's the same developer, is when you get bites on your rod, whichever one is your least strength line or smaller hooks and things like that, grab that one first, because the bigger ones are typically going to stay on for longer. But sir, I heard you mention carp. Before we go any further, would you like some fish facts?
I love some fish facts.
All right, so I got some facts about carp. Did you know that carp can live for several decades? In captivity, they can live for well over 20 years, and there have been reports that suggest that koi carp, in particular, can live for more than 100 years.
I was going to bring up koi carp being especially long-lived, and they're also the prettiest of the carp, in my opinion. So carp can be really freaking beautiful. Ugly, but koi, they're cute.
Koi are beautiful, dude. It's like, I've been to a few different places recently. One of them was the butterfly place in the Gainesville Museum has a pond that had koi in it. And then at the Leitner Museum in St. Augustine, they had a koi pond. And man, they're just really beautiful fish. They're derpy as hell when you look at them like directly in the face, but their coloring and stuff, they're beautiful. Carp have a strong sense of survival. They can tolerate low oxygen levels and can either breathe air when oxygen is scarce by utilizing a specialized structure called a labyrinth organ. And the last carp fact that I'll give you, because I do have facts about other fish that I'll sprinkle in here and there, or just throw in at the end, either way. Carp are the largest of the minnow family.
I did not realize they were minnows. Huh.
I did not either. And I was like, holy shit, that's a big minnow.
That's cool.
I thought that was very interesting. So there are a bunch of different types of fish. Like we mentioned a bunch of different types of fish in this game. But you have your different, basically when you're in your career mode, which is a lot of what I played, you have 3 different types of tournaments. You got your carp tournament, you got your bass tournament, you got your predator fish tournament.
Bass are predator fish. I think you meant coarse fish. No.
There's ones that are specifically bass
for the tournaments. Gotcha. My bad.
And then for the tournaments, there's specifically bass, and then there's predator fish tournaments, which are like you can catch gar and things like that, and they count. Usually those are length tournaments. Most predator that I've gone on. So I'm always happy when I catch, a pike that's like this fucking long, and everybody else is pulling in bass. I'm like, hell yeah, I gotta get right up in that top spot.
They're a length queen, not a girth queen. Got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when it comes to my carp, I'm all about girth, baby. Give me them fat boys. But yeah, they've got carp, and then catfish. The catfish get fucking massive in this game. There's the arapaima. But it comes down to the coarse fish too. You got like little perch, little crappies. Like there's a very good variety of fish, which I really appreciated. Coming from playing a game that only had largemouth bass, so that was good. And I feel like it had more of a variety than the hunter did. I feel like, or not the hunter. I'm sorry,
the angler.
Call of the Wild.
Yeah, I agree. I think it had more fish than the angler too.
So. But if I had a qualm, really, like one of my complaints with the game would be that when you're in first person, you can move forward. You can't move backwards. You can't move side to side. It's tank control. You can move forward, and you can turn in place around and go backwards if you want. But that's how you have to move. In third person, not an issue. You can go whatever direction you want. First person, only forward. Weird.
I don't even think I realized there was a first person view in this game. I only played third person.
Mostly, like in multiplayer, first person not allowed, so third person. And then in single player, Yeah, I think it defaults to third person, but if you tap select, it pops you into first person mode. And really, I mean, there's really no big difference. You're going to reel in your fish the same either way. It's just one you can see your guy and one you can't. Mm-hmm. First person, I think, helps more when you're using like bobber fishing, but I never used the bobber in this game. It was bottom bait or lure.
I feel that.
Which, the equipment, there's a load of equipment to unlock. All kinds of hooks, baits. Did you have one in particular that was like one that was like your go-to?
Depending on what I was fishing for. I like this one for when I was fishing for bass. I liked this one crawfish looking crawfish bait. I thought it was crawfish lure. I thought it was pretty cool. And then I just did the one with a funny name most of the time when I was hunting carp, which was Tiger Nuts.
Yes, Tiger Nuts. Surprisingly, very good at catching carp.
I just don't know where they got them.
Yeah. Hey, I don't ask questions. It's kind of like when Hank Hill was fishing with crack rocks. You don't ask questions. It just really works. My go-tos were for bass. I had a shattered something. It was a spoon lure, right? And that was also like, I think my predator fish was something along the same lines. It was a lure that I would troll behind my boat. But for carp, I had my 3 rods out, and I would do Banafee, 15 millimeter Banafee on one, 15 millimeter Tiger Nuts on another, and then 20 millimeter Tiger Nuts. Now, if I was fishing for predator fish, but I wanted the biggins, size 2 hook, dead bait.
Yeah. Either
a whole fish or fish heads. That's what you're going to be catching the big fuckers, the big catfish and shit with. And if you're just a PSA for anybody who happens to play the game, if you're fishing and you're not catching anything, try changing your lure. It might help. If you want to catch something bigger, always remember that the smaller the number of a hook, the bigger the hook itself. So if you're fishing with, say, a 12 size hook and you're like, man, why is everything I'm catching only like 3 or 4 pounds? Bump that up to like maybe a 6 size hook. And then you might catch something that's 14 pounds. You know, it's just, it kind of works like that. So just, if you're new to fishing games, that's just something that might help you.
Yeah.
So quickly, where'd it go? Here we go. All right. Fish facts.
Fish facts.
Catfish. Some species of catfish, such as the Mekong giant catfish, can reach enormous sizes, and it is not uncommon for these giants to exceed 9 feet in length and weigh several hundred pounds.
Scary.
That's insane. And while the lifespan of catfish varies depending on the species and environmental factors, some can live for several decades. There have been reports of catfish reaching over 60 years of age.
Sheesh.
Can you imagine just like a 50-year-old 9-foot catfish just chilling?
No, it's scary.
Like, whoa, bro. I could lay on you.
You're like...
You are 3 feet longer than I am, and I'm a big person.
You were like a Snorlax of a fish.
Seriously. There's one other one on here that was... Where'd it go? Oh, there are over 3,000 known species of catfish.
I believe that, because like I remember when I was a kid having some aquariums, and they had those little bitty catfish you could get and put in them. They were really cool.
Yeah. They can be found in freshwater, brackish water, and even some marine environments.
Really?
So like there's even some fucking salt.
I did not know about that. I knew... Yeah, interesting. Okay.
I want to see a big ass catfish fight a tuna. And then the last one that I have for catfish is there are in Africa electric catfish that have a specialized organ called the electric organ that can generate electrical pulses. They use the pulses for navigation communication, but they also use it for stunning prey.
Pretty cool.
And that is just tremendous to me. There's fucking fish out there who just like, oh, I want to eat you. Taser. Natural taser. You are fucked. Get in me. Just amazing. Also, one other thing about them that I just know that creeps me out is they have taste buds all over their body.
Oh.
So just think about that next time you're holding one. It's like they're tasting your hands when you're just touching it.
Yeah. And when you go fishing for catfish, be careful because they have spikes and they will cut you.
And they will fuck you up. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So playing through the career mode, you're basically just doing different types of tournaments over and over and over. There's not really much to it. You know what I mean? It's a fishing game. But I did really have a lot of fun with it. It's one that I will go back to. I might install Bassmaster and see how that is because that's the sequel or the newer one. But if it's just bass fishing,
I think we know how you feel about that.
I might just go back to this. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's good fishing quality, like I'm cool with that. But I had here's a bitch throughout the career mode. If it was a carp tournament, no problem. I was coming in first by several hundred pounds. If it was a predator tournament, more often than not, I'm coming in first. There were sometimes I had to restart because I was just pissed at myself that right at the end, somebody came in like 0.2 inches longer than me.
I hate when someone's 2.2 inches longer than me.
I know, right? It's like, damn, you just had to be that much better, huh? Just had to have the big salad. But fucking bass tournaments. Dude, I cannot tell you how many bass tournaments I did where I went 20 minutes, didn't catch shit, and would have to start over and do it again, and then finally start catching some stuff. That was when I no longer started switching my bait. When I found a bait that started snagging bass, I never changed it.
It's one thing about this game, too. I think it's a little bit more realistic, but as somebody that's playing the game and want to catch fish, like, you could go for a good 10, 15 minutes without getting a bite. Like, that was not uncommon. It's more like real fishing in that way, but sometimes when you're playing a video game, just let me catch the fish, man.
Yeah, or even, too, like, have a... And this is something that maybe no one's ever even really thought about, but in the options menu, put a variable that you can adjust for fish bite, like how often. So, like, if you want fish to bite, like they're the hungriest things on the planet, you cast out there, you don't have time to switch to a second rod. You could set it to that, or you could set it to realistic where you gotta wait.
Not a bad idea.
Man, we should make a fishing game. I just want to be an idea man. I want to work for a game company and they can just put me in there and I'll just hit my vape pen and be like, all right, what if? And then some of those will be good ideas and they can take those and implement them and then they pay me for it and that would be sweet.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke. He's like, man, I want to be that guy that names things. He's like, that'd be great. He's like, what do you want to call that? What does it do? It's a fridge. It keeps things cold. All right. So it makes things cold. It's a fridge. I won't call it a refrigerator. I'm going last bit of fish facts, and then we can get into ratings and stuff, and then do show questions and get on out of here, my good sir, are about some bass.
Hell yeah.
So, largemouth bass have an elongated body that ranges from silvery white to brassy green. Dark olive mottling on its dorsal surface provides camouflage for it, and they are a fast-growing fish. They can reach up to 16 inches in 3 years. Took me a long time to hit 16 inches. Their native range includes the St. Lawrence and Great Lakes, Hudson Bay, and the Mississippi River. However, because of its importance as a game fish, they have been introduced to many other areas, including Mexico, Central, and South America. Largemouth bass inhabit clear vegetated lakes, ponds, swamps, and backwaters of pools, creeks, and rivers. They seek protective cover under logs, rocks, and vegetation, and man-made structures. That's one thing I do know, is that if you're bass fishing in real life, if you see some logs and shit, cast by those, you're more than likely to catch a bass. In the wild, they eat zooplankton and insect larvae, and at the zoo, they usually get fed small insects, algae, shrimp, bloodworms, and commercial fish food. Lifespan, 6 to 20 years in the wild. In human care, 8 to 12 years.
Interesting.
Don't know why that's shorter. I feel like that should be switched, but...
Fish facts.
Whatever. Fish facts, exactly. Yeah, we're learning shit today together, folks. And then some fun facts to wrap it up. Except for humans, adult largemouth bass are the top predators in the aquatic ecosystem.
I think it depends on the aquatic ecosystem, but yeah, I wouldn't say that. I was like, wouldn't say that's true in the Everglades, but go on, Kings.
Fucking tell that to an. I was about to say, tell that to an alligator. Unless it's saying that it eats more things than an alligator. I don't know, but that's impressive to me if that's true, because sharks exist too. But they are one of the top recreational species in the U.S. The oldest reported largemouth bass is 23 years old.
Okay.
The heaviest reported largemouth bass is 22 pounds, and the longest one ever recorded is 38.2 inches. That is a big fucking bass, dude.
I'd like to catch that.
See, because the ones in the game that we were reeling in, like, damn, that's a pretty good bass for like 20-something inches. Yeah. It's 38, man. And then I had some stuff pulled up about gar, but let's just leave it at this. Gar are fucking scary.
Fair.
Especially alligator gar. Fuck off. So... let's do some ratings.
Yeah, let's do to it.
I really enjoyed this. This is one of my favorite fishing games that I've played. I think it's mixed reviews on Steam. People have their qualms with it. I have some issues with it, but overall, I have a very good time with it. It's been a good comfort through the shit that I've been dealing with. So my rating may be skewed by that, but again, it's our show. Fuck off. So I'm going to give this a strong 8.75 predator fish out of 10 carps.
Yeah. And I think my rating is going to be a little bit influenced by the fact is I'm actually starting to feel a little bit burnt out on fishing games in general. So, and like, yeah, that's fair. I liked this one. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was as good as Ultimate Fishing Simulator or Call of the Wild Angler. But I still think it's a pretty good game. And for me, I'm just going to go ahead and just give it a 7.5 crankbaits out of 10 minnow heads.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some listener questions.
All right. So the first one comes in from Kana, who asks us, you're on a 14-hour flight. What fictional character would you like to sit next to you?
Oh, man. Lara Croft.
Ooh. You know what? I think it's a great answer. I'm going to go with another fictional character in a similar vein. I'm going to put Gex next to me because he doesn't take up much room and he's going to make me laugh.
He's going to make you laugh, yeah. And I would just pick Laura's brain about all the shit that she's done.
I like those. Fun. Good answers. It's not where I thought we would go with that, but I like what we came up with. Next one is in from Jeff. It's a red pill, blue pill. So for the blue pill, you get to create a new evolution. And for the red pill, you can change any Pokemon type for any Pokemon. So instead of like being a dragon, you can make it ice type or something. So basically making like an Alolan version of a Pokemon.
I was about to say, well, they kind of already did that. So I might roll blue pill and just try to come up with maybe like a nuclear Eevee or something.
Yeah, I was thinking a new evolution too. I'd like to make a poison type Eevee. Doesn't exist yet. I think it would fit in really good. And poison's my favorite type in Pokemon, so I'd like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
This next one is from Jeff. What drink had you so messed up you swore never to drink it again?
Man, quickly, Poison. There's the name for you, Poison. Anyway, the drink that I had that messed me up that I swore I would never drink it again. So that would be Skull Vodka mixed with Diet Mountain Dew. I am still convinced to this day that the next day I was throwing up stomach lining because I was throwing up stringy black shit.
Yeah.
So yeah. No
for me,
I also had a buddy of mine who was a psychopath, and he would do Irish car bombs, but he would drop a shot of Skull Vodka into Steel Reserve, and then you had to chug it.
No.
Yeah, bro. No. Yeah. Gut rot.
Yeah, bro. No. For me, I remember me and my buddy, my best friend in college, Wes, we got really fucked up on mojitos one night. So it was like cheap liquor mixed with the mixer from the liquor store. We were just drinking those all night. And you know when you have like too much sweet with your alcohol? Yes. Ugh, I can't ever do it again. But it was a fun night. But
yeah, it's one of those things like, yeah, you enjoy it while it's happening, but then you're like, oh,
yeah, like I think that's one of the worst hangovers I'd ever had. That might have been the night that I thought I was running from the cops too. Because I
remember the last time.
Because I remember in college, I was out walking with Wes, and I was super hammered, and I swore I heard sirens, and I just took off running, and I'm like not close to my fraternity house at this point. I'm like I'm gonna say like 15 blocks away from my fraternity house at least. And so I just take off running. And I remember at one point I dove behind a bush and hid for a few minutes. Just the stupidest shit ever, dude. College was dumb.
That's tremendous. Dude, I remember the last time that I got super fucking drunk. I was hanging out with this chick, and she was like, she's a drinker, and I was like, oh, I can keep up with her. I was hungover for 3 days. So like I've taken it easy since then.
I don't really do much of anything alcohol these days. If I go to a function for work, I'll have 2 beers, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, that's me. Like when I would go out and have dinner, I might have a beer or 2. Like when I was in St. Augustine, I'd have a beer, usually a beer with dinner, and like that's it.
That's about where I am at this point in my life. I don't need it anymore. Because honestly, after 2 beers, I start to feel it a little bit at this point.
Yeah, same. Especially if they're nice, good, hearty, strong beer. But like, it's like with a mixed drink. I'll order 1. Whereas back in the day, I might order a few and have a good time. And no, it's like I just want that 1. Relax me a little bit.
Exactly. I'm right there with you, man. So this next question also comes in from Jeff, and we get a picture with this one, Dalton.
I love this picture.
There's so much goodness. You get to pick 2 donuts. You get the glazed, the chocolate iced glazed, the strawberry iced with sprinkles,
otherwise known as the Homer donut.
The chocolate iced glazed with sprinkles, the glazed raspberry filled, the cake batter, which is a filled donut. A glazed blueberry, the Dolly Dazzler, which looks like a cute little pink donut with a lot of sparkles on it, and a glazed lemon-filled donut.
So here's the thing. My favorite is actually
not either.
Which is the Boston cream with the yes, bitch.
Boston cream is my favorite donut.
It's the best donut. It's the best donut there is, dude. Like you can't tell me otherwise.
You're correct. But you have a correct opinion tonight.
That I've never had a cake batter donut, but I've had cake batter ice cream.
That looks delicious.
And mother of God, it looks so good.
I saw that. I was like, yeah, I'm taking that one. I don't even know what it tastes like, but I'm taking a chance on that one.
Yeah, and that's going to be my stuffed one. As much as I love the raspberry filled one as well, I'm going to go with the cake batter. And then it becomes, do I go with the classic? Because I love a classic glazed. Like there's just something so good, especially one that's like relatively fresh, so it's
fresh out of the oven from Krispy Kreme. Yeah.
But I do know that I call it the Homer donut. The Homer donut is delicious. But I think I got to go with the classic because, dude, you can't beat just a warm, fresh glazed donut.
Yeah. Something special about that. What's your third?
Oh, it's 2.
Oh, it's pick 2. Oh, shit. I was going for 3. Okay, 2. I will take...
Oh, shit. I'll pick 3 if you want me to pick 3. I'm going raspberry, then that's my third. But
I'll do 2, and then I'll pick a third, too. Number 1 is going to be the cake batter because, like, it just looks amazing. It's the closest thing to a Boston cream on there. So, and then I love a blueberry cake donut. So that blueberry glazed donut down there looks amazing. I'm going to take that as my second choice. And for the third, I got to go with the classic chocolate iced glazed because I just love that chocolate on top.
I can fuck with that, dude. Yeah, those blueberry donuts are so fucking good, bro. Like, it's one of the few times that I'm cool with a cake donut.
I feel you.
Like, I'm real weird. Like, I don't think cake donuts should be allowed to be called donuts because they're not made of dough. They're made of batter.
It's fair.
If you want to get into that thing, that's when I start telling people, all right, well, then cake is bread. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, well, brother, what the fuck is a donut? A cake donut.
That's fair.
But anyway, yeah.
All right.
All of them, though. If I had a box with all of those in there, I would not be upset at any of them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd maybe give the
lemon. I'm not a lemon guy either. My wife is, so I'll let her eat the lemon one.
I'll give that to my dad. Here you go, man. I know you love this shit.
All right. Our next one also comes in from... No, this next one comes in from Adam. I almost said Jeff. And it's a long list of Nintendo 64 games, and you get to pick 3 of them. The games on the list are Donkey Kong 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Super Mario 64, Star Fox 64, WWF No Mercy, GoldenEye 007, Perfect Dark, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Jet Force Gemini, Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Diddy Kong Racing, F-Zero X, Mario Kart 64, Wave Race, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Ogre Battle 64, Paper Mario, Super Smash Bros., Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, or Pokemon Stadium 2.
Motherfucker. So it's like, okay, pick from all of the really good games. It's like, here's a list of all the shit that came out that was worth shit. Pick 3. It's like pick 3, right? Okay.
I can start off if you want time to think.
Man. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, please.
So with the first one on here, it was my first Nintendo 64 game, and I absolutely love it. It's Diddy Kong Racing. I think it's superior to Mario Kart 64. Hands down for me.
All right.
The second one I will take out of this list, because there's not a WCW game on there, and no Nintendo 64 is complete without a wrestling game, WWF No Mercy. I have to take it because that was still a good game. Even though it didn't have my wrestlers in it, it still had The Rock, Stone Cold. It's still good, you know?
Yeah.
And then the top row on that, which is Donkey Kong 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Super Mario 64. A couple of those are tearing me. I'm one of the few people that really likes this game, so I'm going to take Donkey Kong 64. My favorite collectathon on the 64.
I don't know if I ever played Donkey Kong 64. I don't think I knew anybody that owned it. I didn't have a 64, so it was strictly just what my friends had.
I feel that. That was my Super Nintendo experience for the longest time.
Yeah, same. I went from we've talked about this before. Regular Nintendo and Sega Master System to PlayStation. The big jump. I'm going No Mercy. Oh, that's a given. So it's pick. Man, in hindsight, I'd probably pick ones that I haven't played, but this is what I would play if I was then. So looking at covers, I'm just gonna go No Mercy, Conker. No, I'm sorry. No Mercy, Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon.
Those were solid. I agree I like all those picks. Cool, man.
I don't think I'd have enjoyed Conker when I was a kid. I enjoyed it when I played it when it came out for Xbox because I was a little older and it was funny.
Fun fact, Conker's first video game was Diddy Kong Racing. So nice. Like, when I was a kid, I remember like they were making games off these other characters from Diddy Kong Racing. I was like, ooh, Conker's Bad Fur Day. And I saw it. I was like, oh, this looks vulgar.
Yeah, the flower with the titties and stuff. It's just like, there's so much ridiculous.
Yeah, that did not appeal to young Nathan. I might like it now, but I remember when I was a kid, I was like, oh, this is not for me.
It would be a good laugh now. It's raunchy, but it's fun.
I'm going to jump around just a touch because I want to get all the picture questions done tonight. So the next one comes in from Jeff, which is pick 3 ice cream flavors. I just put the picture in for you. The flavors are as follows. Chocolate, vanilla, cookie dough, strawberry, Oreo, peanut butter chocolate, cake batter, mint chip, pistachio, cotton candy, Nutella, fudge swirl, cold brew, butter pecan, chocolate chip, and cherry pie.
Significantly harder choice for me.
I'm a big fan of the classics in a lot of these. Like, I'm definitely taking a straight vanilla cone because vanilla standalone by itself is its own unique thing, and I really enjoy it.
It's the OG. It's the OG.
And then I'm going to go with the mint chip because I just love the feeling of that cold mint going in. Just like I don't know what that is. It's just something uniquely about mint, And then you make it cold, it just adds to it.
It's like, have you ever had a pack of gum in your pocket for too long and you just have this cold square on your leg? Yeah. Mint's weird, man, but it's good.
And then last, I'm gonna take the fudge swirl because I like the chocolate mixed with the vanilla. So I got the vanilla, mint chip, and fudge swirl.
All right. So my favorite of all time is cookies and cream. So I'm going Oreo, even though I prefer cookies and cream. Because like the one that's the actual brand, I think it's Breyer's Oreo ice cream, is subpar to others that are just cookies and cream, in my opinion. So I'm going that E. Then I'm going pistachio. I fucking love pistachio almond ice cream. Pistachio almond ice cream is delicious. Now, I know it doesn't specify that there's almonds in it.
You can make that concession. You're good.
Yeah. Here's where my third choice is kicking me in the ass. Because I love cold brew ice cream. I love butter pecan ice cream. And I fucking love cake batter ice cream. Man. But because that looks like the store kind of cake batter ice cream and not the really good kind from Cold Stone Creamery, I'm going to go butter pecan. Okay. That or pecans and pralines, same shit. I like that. Like that, good shit.
Right. Here's a fun one from Jeff, the last of the ones with pictures associated. Challenge. You were in a zombie apocalypse. That's a hard word to say sometimes. You gained the powers and abilities of the last game you've played. You have two teammates, the main characters of the last, second, and third game you've played. So the last three games will happen. So you get the powers of the one from the last game you played, and then two people from the other games are your teammates. So the last game I played a little Brawlhalla today. So I'm going to be pretty good at fighting people off. So I'll take that. Have a lot of cool moves fighting. I'm down. The last other two games I played were... Let's go back here real quick. Come on.
Was one of E's?
It was, but... So E's, so I'll have Adol fighting by my side. I'm pretty sure he'd do pretty good in a zombie apocalypse. And the game before that I played was Monster Hunter World. So my character's pretty badass in Monster Hunter World. I think I'll do pretty good in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right. The powers, abilities of the last game that I played, unfortunately, before we recorded, I tried to catch that really big fish. So the last game that I played is a fishing game. So I'm really good at fishing.
You'll be able to get food.
That's true. So I'll be able to get food. So you can protect me, you and your crew. Because I also have Adol, which means that we'll probably be sharing.
But he's also pretty good at fishing.
He's also good at fishing, yeah. So immediately I'm obsolete because he's better with a sword and can fish. So I am now dead weight, but I can cook.
There you go.
He can cook too. Damn RPG protagonist, good at everything. So it'd be Adol, and then, god damn, I just played through the whole game, and I don't remember his name, but it would be the main guy from Halo Wars, who was like a little sergeant dude that I was controlling on the map, because there was like a main character guy. Just don't remember his name. So it'd be him. So, I mean, when it came to combat, I'm good. So, like, yeah, let me fish. It would be like that anime that I watched recently where, like, the guy gets ported to the world. He's only good at cooking, so he just lets everybody else go and do all the other stuff, and they bring him the food, and he makes wonderful meals. That's me.
Hell yeah.
But zombies.
Ever eat a zombie before?
I'm at least faster than zombies, unless we're talking Day of the Dead remake zombies. And fucked, but.
All right. I think I'm going to call this the last one because I'm getting tired. Next, they'll have Adam, you have two questions that'll be on the next episode. This next one comes in from Fenris, who asks, would you rather have your sex tape leaked or your therapy session? And I'm going to say my sex tape because it would be a lot shorter.
I mean, I guess I would say my sex tape for something different because my therapy sessions are out there. They're called Pod. So you can go and listen to them.
That's fair.
But yeah, plus, I mean, you know, I put my sex tape out there, teach a thing or two. Maybe Jeremy could watch it, learn how to fucking good music. So yeah, you know, that would be my
cool.
Oh, all right. That means I need to pull up the thing that I closed on accident earlier so I can run through the house cleaning, which is, if you would be so kind, is to go leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It really helps us out in the algorithm. Also give us a positive review on Spotify. It helps people find the show. And Lord knows I would love it if more people would find the show and listen to it. If you want to come join the Discord, because our social medias are pretty much barren these days. I try my best, but they are. But the Discord, that Discord is where it's at. You should come join. Just go to bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters, and that'll get you an invite. Come join. And we're active in there every day. Like, come and chat with us. There's a wonderful community that we've built up. Everybody is super nice and chill. It's a good place to be. And you can vote on all of the fan polls and stuff for the games, which, speaking of, let's do a quick run through of those, because there is a new one up. The regular fan poll that's running right now, the last winner. So I've got this rolling to where there's always at least 2 that we can pull from. So next up on the list from the winners is Mass Effect. Okay. But the last winner was Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which that won, and then they announced a sequel to it. So I'm like, they're listening. We speak things into existence on this show. So that's going to be great. I have played through and beaten Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, and I cannot fucking wait for you and Willie to play that game.
I've heard a lot about it. It seems pretty freaking cool.
It is just so over the top. It's great. So the current poll up right now is Pathologic 2, Stardew Valley, Outcast, Second Contact, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, and Batman Arkham Knight. And overwhelmingly right now, Pathologic 2 is winning. Now, technically one of those votes shouldn't count because it's Willie. But I know he really wants to play that. So I'm going to let it fly. But Pathologic 2 winning overwhelmingly, with the second runner-up being Stardew Valley, and nothing else has votes, man. No love for Dark Messiah of Might and Magic.
For Arkham Knight.
No love for us finishing the fucking Arkham trilogy. Like, damn, that's the last one that's left. And they're like, nah, fuck that. Like, nah, we're going to wait till one of you pick that. Nah, we want you guys to suffer when you play Pathologic 2. Not suffer because it's a bad game. Suffer because that is a very bleak game. It is very bleak and hard. So yeah, that is the fan pick game poll. The short poll, we just played Sega Bass Fishing, so that got out of there. So the last winner for that was I can't wait. Arcana Love Heart 3 Love Max. I say it like that because there's a bunch of exclamation points in the title. It's a waifu fighter. It's a fighting game with all girls, and it's just fun. It's just fun. It's not the greatest fighting game in the world, but I mean, it's a fighting game, so you're not gonna hate yourself playing it. The poll up for that right now is Ask the Breed Definitive Edition, which is a shoot 'em up. Her Lie I Tried to Believe, which is a visual novel. Piku Niku, I think that's a little cute little platformer. Katamari Damacy Reroll, and Baseball Stars 2. Again, there are 2 fighting for supremacy with nothing else getting votes, and that is Katamari and Baseball Stars.
But it's close. It's close this time.
It's very close. Yeah, it's 1 vote difference between them. Katamari winning at the moment. I'm curious about Baseball Stars because that's an old SNK game, if I remember.
Yeah, I know Willie loves the original Baseball Stars for the NES, so I'd be curious to see.
Yeah, that could be cool. But also, Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm cheering for Katamari because I've always wanted to play one of those games.
Me too. And it's like, it's been one of those that I never pulled the trigger on it, but if I have a reason to, I'm going to play it and really love it, right? And if it wins, it's just going to make that fucking music category we have that much harder. Like, oh man, it's going to be fun though if it wins. But right now it is winning, so we'll see. And then the retro game, the last winner was Legend of the River King.
Another fishing game.
And another fishing game, but a different kind of fishing game. So it might be a little interesting. It's more of an RPG. And then the poll for that, we got Oregon Trail for the Apple II, Panic Restaurant for the NES, Mutant Hockey League for the Genesis, Rayman 2 The Great Escape for PS1 and 64, Dreamcast and PC, Blood Fresh Supply for PC, and Pandemonium for PC and 64 and I think PS1. And the winning one of that right now is Oregon Trail.
Which 1 vote lead. There's a few that have votes on this one.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Rayman 2 not far behind it. And then Blood actually right behind Rayman. And then Panic Restaurant. And then the other 2 don't have any votes. So I have to always remind myself when there's just 1 vote, that's literally just the bot being like, this is a choice. So there are no votes for those. But yeah, those are come vote on the polls, man, because you can make it heard. If you want us to play one of those certain games and you really want it bad, come in, join, campaign. We have seen games that had no votes go from no votes to overwhelming winning the poll because people have campaigned for a game they really wanted us to play.
Duke Nukem.
I was about to say, fucking Duke Nukem. So like, come join. If it's like, say, Pandemonium is your favorite platformer of all time, and you're like, holy shit, come in, tell us all why, and really put a good thing behind it. You might change everyone's votes. We've seen it happen. bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. If you want to check out the website, which as far as I know is up to date, might be slightly behind, but that's okay. There's a lot of things going on in a lot of people's lives, so if it's behind, Dane, that's cool. No worries there. Link to the website is bit.ly/the Steam Machine Podcast. Just capitalize that phonetically like you normally would, and that'll take you to the website. But patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast, and that one's just straight lowercase letters, nice and easy. If you want to donate to the show, $1 or more a month gets you access to the episodes early, ad-free, and you also get the little bonus Patreon only section in the beginning of each and every episode. And you also get, random bonus stuff on there every now and then. Now that I have more time on my hands, maybe I'll play a NSFW style game and do an episode about it or something like that. And that'll be fun. And I'll try to make that as entertaining as I can without just sounding boring. It's like, yeah, I played Fuck Simulator 5. It's pretty good. Dick physics. So there's like, there could be that, but yeah, really, it just helps. It really helps me, especially right now being out of work. And there's a lot of life thing going on right now that any bit helps. So I do appreciate it very much. Patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast. And if you donate $10 or more a month, you get your name read out on the show. Each and every episode, like these wonderful, wonderful people: Nazer Cogsworth, the 7th of June-iper, Jeff, the original Expendable, Mr. Expendable. Damn, I fucked it up. It's the first time I fucked it up in forever. Jeff, the original Expendable, Mr. Syllables, old Jeffy Lube, Ariesoradam. Shout out to his old podcast, Revival and Extinction. You can go check out the episodes in the archive, and you can come join the Discord and see where he releases, when he plays new stuff. He still writes blogs about it, and he'll post it in the Discord. It's really good. He's very in-depth, and I appreciate it. Him and Rick both. Team Retrogue, shout out to Mikolov. Go check him out over on YouTube, Team Retrogue. He reviews handheld devices that you might play games on and kind of tells you if they're worth your money or not, man. And he does a really good job at what he does. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, good dude. Chad, the Mad Lad, no goddamn C in his last name, Shaffer, you the man dog, and Flyin, Brian, Doran Gray, which I still need to go through that tub that he brought me of all of the shit. Like, holy fuck, Brian, thank you. There are so many good fucking games in that box. Like, I was sending Nate and Willie pictures of it, just like, bruh,
yeah,
look at this.
It was pretty badass.
Look at this. Bro, look at like, I still need to, like, now that I'm using a more normal, like, it's not like a super duper new smart TV in here, because that TV I had died, and I had just have my third monitor TV over here. It's got RGBs. So I'm like, hey, I can check out some of these older things, like the modded 360 he gave me, or that little thing, that little Sega thing that you told me might have games on it. Like, I don't know. I haven't checked. I've got it sitting right over here. So I need to check that out. Other than that, man, I just appreciate you guys for donating money. I know you work hard for it, and again, it's helping me out a lot right now, and I do appreciate it. Shout out to YabsPod. If you want to go check out the archives of YabsPod, yet another BS podcast, you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to the JRPG Report, and again, thank you, Mikolov and Nefarious, for filling in for me last episode. It means the world that you guys were there to get the show out when I was just incapable of doing so myself. If you want to get a shirt, tsmpproductions.threadless.com. You want to check out my music, nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com. Again, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Nate, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Go check out the podcast We Played a Game by Mikolov and Nefarious. Cool show. They got 2 episodes on right now. I've really enjoyed them.
What an asshole I am for thanking them for doing the JRPG Report and not mentioning their podcast. Thank you, Nate. Yeah, dude, they just did an episode on Illusion of Gaia, and quick episode review. Of all the times I have heard Mikolov tell Willie to get good, I got to pick on you for a second, Mikolov, because I do not have any childhood nostalgia with Illusion of Gaia. I just thought it looked really cool and loaded it up on an emulator and played it, and I beat it. And I didn't have much trouble. There are a couple hard fights, you know what I mean? But I didn't get lost. I didn't feel like the game needed to hold my hand at all. And I bet that maybe if you got good, you would have played and beaten the game. But I also know you had some life things going on, so I'll give you a little bit of a leeway. But next time I see you picking on Willie about getting good, maybe I'll remind you about Illusion of Gaia, sir. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, Nefarious, Mikolov, talk to me when you guys play Terra Enigma, because that's the apex of that series. Soul Blazer's great. Illusion of Gaia is fantastic. Terra Enigma, good stuff. Anyway, do go check out We Played a Game with Mikolov and Nefarious. Other than that, we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about some Ease 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, which I learned Lacrimosa means Requiem.
Okay.
And I was like, I thought it was a fake word. It's not. And then I've been spending, again, this is the whole thing I spent. We can talk about more of this next week, but just a little teaser. I've spent the whole game being like, is her name Donna or Dana? And then when you finally get introduced to things that go on and you hear her name said, it's like, okay. But I'll leave that for you to find out. I'm going to let it bother you. Anyway, that's it, guys. So until next time, get back out there and level up, like I say on the JRPG report. But, as always, take it easy.